Hey everyone, What If Fan here, bringing you another exciting part of What If Dragon deck user in Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal. You can find the fanfic title and the original author's name on my Patreon page. Make sure to check it out and show them some love. If you enjoy the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you never miss an upload. Also check out my Patreon channel for early releases of all the series, where you can find all the series released one day ahead of YouTube. Alright, let's jump into it. Chapter 37, Darkness Blooms. Susan's story. The next day, Yuma and Ray had investigated around the refinery to find clues about Alito and Jirag. Last night, Ray had explained to Yuma he's on a mission for Barian criminals, and he's going undercover so no one, not even Astral, must know about this. That Yuma promised, although does admit it will be difficult. They looked around but find nothing, and Ray asked about Astral's condition. That he admitted he must still be healing after that duel. Meanwhile, Timmy, the Kazukis, Tenjos, Arclights, Penelo Shark, and Rio are together at the Arclight residence still working onto the portal. Chris admitted it probably won't be long before it's finished, and Timmy wasn't sure if he is ready to head back to his home world, or if he can come back. Still, so he can visit Susan's grave even just once, he can take the chance. But he remembers something, his dream. His dream of some kind of card. With that in mind, he looked over. Byron, Dad, Kite? The three looked over as he told them. I have something important I need to tell you about. What is it, Timothy? Dr. Faker asked curiously. Is something wrong? Well, I had another dream. Chris keeps working although he is paying attention as Timmy tell them about his dream. Not something frightening like Tachyon Dragon, although. It is really weird. I had seen something, another dragon, but something else. Do you remember what it was? Byron inquired. Some sort of card. Timmy admitted, which caught Penelo's attention, which she listened closely. I'm not sure what kind, but it felt like something unimaginable, something that is way more powerful than anything we ever heard or seen before. And for some reason, I think I know this card even though I have no memory of it prior. That, a card? Penelo asked uncertainly. Are you sure? Timmy looked over to her. Do you know what card it is, Penelo? I think so, she nodded before frowning. But I'm not sure. Well, there is something else. A location. Timmy admitted. Where's it at? The moon. Timmy answered Thomas's question. I think with the moon, you three might know something. Kite frowned, cupping his chin, and thought about it. Now that you speak about it, I do recall something. They paid attention as Kite explained. When you defeated me, Timmy, I tried looking for ways to get stronger so I can defeat you. Then Galaxy Eyes was resonating. Whenever the moon was full, it started reacting. As my deck was created through space, I figured this could be something that Galaxy Eyes needed, so I made a trip there. When I arrived, Galaxy Eyes had triggered something where stone tablets appeared around me. Another large one where it shows of several dragons, and writing that I didn't think of checking, but I told Orbital to keep the picture in his memory banks in case I remember. Galaxy Eyes was then given its new form. He reaches into his deck, pulling out a card which was Prime Photon Dragon staring at it. That, but why you? Penelo asked quietly in confusion. So, did you have a chance to look? No, I haven't. I've forgotten about it while focusing on my mission. Kite admitted to Michael, placing Prime Photon Dragon's card back in his deck box. Though with Prime Photon Dragon and Mizar's Tachyon Dragon, I have a feeling he's also a part of it, as from us trying to figure who was the Galaxy Eyes master. He then looks towards Penelo. So Penelo, if you know anything about this, you tell us now. She shuddered and took a fearful step back, clearly intimidated by Kite. Kite. Heart frowned, taking Penelo's hand, staring at Kite, who relaxed his look, stepping back. Heart then smiled to Penelo, gently pulling her face for him to look at her with a gentle smile. It's okay, Penelo. You don't have to tell us if it's bothering you. She looked at Heart before taking a slow breath. I think it's the Numeran code. The Numeran code? Rio blinked, also feeling familiar, although she can't place why. She shakes off this feeling before then asking, "So Penelo, what is the numerin code?" "I don't know everything, I only heard rumors, but it's supposedly the entire history of the universe, and the power to reshape it at will." "The most powerful thing in the universe," she answered. "It can what?" "A card that is capable of shaping the entire universe at will, and holds the entire history of it? Such a thing is powerful. In fact, this card can allow anyone who possesses it to do whatever they want. And whenever they want. Then, what about the dragon I seen? Do you know anything about it?" Timmy asked if she knows anything about the dragon he had seen with the numerin code. "No, I don't know anything about a dragon," Penelo admitted. Timmy frowned from this. "Well, now we know about what card it was, but what about the moon, and why did I dream about it?" "I'll do some research." Kite spoke towards them. "If Prime Photon Dragon and Tachyon Dragon are involved, then it's something I need to look into over why he dreamed about it. I'll find some answers over why about it. But now we need to worry about the Baryons, and make sure that they don't possess this card. Let's assume they don't have it yet, and try to come up with a plan in case they come back." Shark pointed out, only to frown. "Which we know they will." Suddenly the portal sparked that they turned over as Chris looked surprised but continues on connecting things, and placed the covering on. Pressing some buttons, the portal powered up, and soon a purple swirl appeared on it. Is that what I think it is?" Timmy asked in shock. "Yes, the portal to your homeworld is complete." Chris spoke towards him. Then he looked over. "It's a one-way trip. If your dragons did bring you here, then there's little doubt they can bring you back. Ideally enough time for you to pay respects to your grandmother." Timmy stared at the portal. The way to his world is right in front of him. All of reality of this era is fictional, and technology isn't as advanced as it is here. Only one way in, and his dragons will take him back, if they can. If they can't, then he'll be there forever. He wants to visit Susan's gravestone, but the risks are way too high. Is it worth those risks? Anna, and Rio notices that he looks hesitant to pass through. "You need to go, Timmy, you need to see your grandma," Anna told him gently. "She's right." Rio agreed. He looked over towards them before back towards the portal. Then he gulped, turning over. "Rio. Anna, will you two come with me?" I want Grandma to know about you too. In case they can't return, he doesn't want to alone like he was previously. And it's selfish for him, but they are all he has left if they're trapped." "Of course." Rio smiled, hugging him. "We'll definitely go with you." "She's right." Anna agreed with a gentle smile. "Be aware that it's a one-way trip." Chris warns them. "If his dragons can't return you all, then you will stay within his homeworld for the rest of your lives." Chris nodded before stepping back. "Be careful, sis." Alan smiled towards his sister with her parents nodding. "Don't get into any trouble," Shark said as well. "We won't." Rio smiled gently. "Don't worry, everything will be okay," Anna reassured them. So they all take each other's hands as they stared at the portal. They take some breaths, nodding all together before passing through. When they did, the portal powered down, and it stopped functioning. "Will they be all right?" Hart couldn't help asking out of concern if his new brother will be okay. "He'll be okay, he has two amazing people with him." Kite smiled gently. They all smiled, and hoped for a safe trip. Timmy's home world is something they don't experience, but Timmy had, and knows they will be all right. Although the road back will be hard for them. A purple swirl appeared at an alleyway before three people formed, raising up. It was Anna, Timmy, and Rio, all getting up, shaking off the dizzy spell they had experienced from the portal. "You two all right?" Timmy asked, rubbing his head. "I think so. Is this your home?" Anna asked him. They walked, exiting the alleyway, looking around. They see buildings around with some people jogging, walking their dog, children playing with balls or other things. There is even a corner of goth kids nearby smoking. Timmy looked around. He had not seen this type of environment for about half a year now. It makes him so full of nostalgia seeing the working hours of everything, even seeing regular cars instead of hovercars, hologram billboards, and even not seeing any litterbots where civilians in uniforms are cleaning up instead of letting machinery do it for them. Yes, this is it, my home. Timmy looked around slowly, taking in the sights he hadn't seen in so long. Rio took his hand. Do you want to go to the cemetery, or is there anything else you want to do first? My grandma's house, it's just around the corner. Timmy first wants to stop there, heading over to the direction by memory. Okay, lead the way. Anna smiled. Meanwhile, with Yuma was staring at the key, worried, with Tori beside him while class is happening. Ever since Astral went back into the key to recover from the duel with Jirag, Yuma is pretty worried. He knows that things take time, but the longer he's waiting, the more he feels more anxious. To where Tori notices that he is whispering to the key during class. Yuma. Tori whispered softly. I'm worried, Tori. He hasn't said anything since the duel with Jirag. Maybe he's not recovering right, or I don't know, something is wrong. Yuma admitted, keeping his voice down so the current teacher can't overhear. Tori frowned. Do you think we can do anything? I don't know. I just hope we can help Astral. Yuma spoke before then widening his eyes, getting an idea. Oh wait, I know. He raised up, calling for the teacher. Excuse me, can I go to the nurse's office please, pronto? I don't know. I just hope we can help Astral. Yuma spoke before then widening his eyes, getting an idea. Oh wait, I know. He raised up, calling for the teacher. Excuse me, can I go to the nurse's office please, pronto? Meanwhile, at the Emperor's Key. Astral meanwhile was within a small sphere field designed to help him fully heal. He had been thinking while in stasis for him to recover. The Baryons had powerful cards, especially the chaos numbers they possess of the numbers over 100. He needs to find a way to get stronger, and be ready. If this keeps on, eventually, they will catch them, and defeat them. And if that happens, there will be no one who will protect Timmy, as the Baryons also have him as a target. But who can he? Suddenly a flickering light caught his attention that he dispels of the sphere field, looking over, seeing all the numbers that he and Yuma collected so far to be reacting to something. Like warning him of something. What is this? Astral questioned. Floating closer, he sees the numbers are reacting and blinking. Then something formed beside him. Astral. He looked over, seeing the spirit of number archive materialized beside him, which he looked worried. We had heard of your desire to be stronger, and if you do, well you will need my help as well. Stunned, Astral turned where number 96, in the same appearance as Astral's like before, manifested behind him with a smirk. Dark mist? Astral questioned with widened eyes. It's quite simple, Astral. If you really do wish to defeat the Baryons, you should accept my aid. Number 96 smirked towards him. But I thought I had already dealt with you. Oh, that? Number 96 shrugged over. You should know that was temporary. What isn't temporary is the Baryons' attack. They will continue on. You know that you need me as much as I need you. If you release me from this key, I will carry my word to assist you in your time of need. You know that I will not accept any deals you will do. Astral told him with a glare, knowing how evil and cunning number 96 is, and will not trust him for anything. Not even for assistance against the Baryons. You shouldn't refuse so quickly. After all, even he agrees. Number 96 turned to number archive, who tensed over. We both agreed that right now you had hit a wall you cannot break. But if you let me assist, we can break that wall where the light can shine within the dark, Astral. Without me, you will never be complete. Think about it. That said, he vanished into darkness. Astral frowned at that. While he didn't trust number 96 at all, the fact was his words did have a certain level of truth. If he were unable to get stronger, then the Baryons could harm the people he cared about. Yuma, Timothy, and his daughter. Back at Timmy's world. Timmy and the girls arrived over to the location where Timmy whitened his eyes. What he had expected to be the house had changed. It had changed into some sort of building. A building like a personal bank called the Wixon Finances. "What is this?" Rio asked, seeing it. "A bank?" Anna frowned. "Did you forget the address?" No, I was sure this was it." They noticed someone getting out, a suited man whose side holding a clipboard, closing the door behind him. Timmy ran over, calling, "Excuse me, sir." Surprised, the man looked over, seeing him with Anna and Rio behind him. "Who are you?" "This is private property, and unless you are related to, or connected to Mr. and Mrs. Wixon, I must ask you to leave before I get security to escort you three out." "Isn't this supposed to be a house?" Anna asked. "A house?" The man raised an eyebrow hearing that. Then he blinked. "Oh, you three are probably wondering about the house that was here in this address?" When they nodded, he sighed over. "I'm afraid that house is gone." "Gone?" Timmy widened his eyes, shocked. The owner of that house had passed away a few years ago. It had been a spot for Mr. and Mrs. Wixon's spot for a personal bank of theirs for years, and when she died, they had made plans and torn the place down and built this bank from the ground. The man explained to them that Susan's house had been demolished sometime after Timmy was taken by his parents, and the bank was built in its place. "I didn't ask any questions, just doing what I was told. I apologize if it held any kind of meaning to you." Mr. and Mrs. Wixon never let any opportunity slip past them. "But that's not fair. That home had memories for the people who lived there. What if the person living there had family?" Rio questioned angrily. "I'm sorry, but that's something you should discuss with Mr. and Mrs. Wixon. They often do that. Anything for wealth." The man spoke to them before then, stating, "Now you should clear out before security finds you." With a nod, he walked out as Timmy dropped to his knees. All he had left of Susan, her home, the place he had stayed his entire life until he was taken by his parents, gone. Gone by his selfish parents, like they always do. They always hated her, poisoned her to take her money, and tried undoing all she had taught towards him, all for the sake of wealth. Seeing him like that, Anna and Rio both embraced him tightly. Do you want to visit her?" Rio asked. Timmy only stared on in shock, having a lot to think over. Then he slowly nodded, raising up, trying to keep himself contained, to not start shouting into the air, and making a large scene out of his anguish for his grandmother's image almost being completely destroyed at this point. The two girls gently helped him up and squeezed his hands tightly, a sign that they would never leave him alone. They walked together where Timmy tries remembering where the location of the cemetery was. They made a few twists and turns as Timmy never had a chance to visit except for the funeral. Soon something that was a little familiar to him got into his mind. He went down the road before, and made sure to keep it in his brain for as long as he can. Do the chance that he can make it, he can come to the place himself to see Susan's grave. Eventually they finally arrived at a cemetery. Looking to Timmy, he nodded, confirming to the girls, "This is the place." "Do you want some privacy first?" Rio asked. "To talk with her?" Timmy slowly gulped. Then he shakes his head no. "We still need to find the gravestone, and I don't think I can be with her alone right now." "We understand, Timmy, we're right here." Anna smiled softly as they started to look for the grave. They searched around the cemetery trying to find where the grave was. It took a few minutes before they stopped seeing a gravestone that has the words Susan Wixon on it. Timmy hitched his throat as soon as he saw the stone staring at it. Rio and Anna both gently squeezed his hands as they hugged him together. Timmy gulped before he slowly took some steps forward, Anna and Rio standing behind him as he stepped closer. Then he dropped to his knees, staring at the stone, his eyes staying still with his lips wobbling. Then tears started to well and run down his cheeks, which he choked on some sobs several times, but unable to stop his tears. Finally unable to hold it, he started crying loud, hugging the gravestone. Grandma! Grandma! I'm finally here. I'm finally here with you, after so long. Ever since they took me away. I wasn't able to come here to visit you. But now I'm here, and I will never let you go ever again. I don't know how, but I will return every chance I will get. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, for letting them murder you, for not helping you, thank you, for taking care of me for a long time. He kept crying as his sobs kept coming, which broke Anna and Rio's hearts the more they hear of this. Rio. Anna whispered as she started tearing up. I know. Rio whispered back, wiping away her own tears. They just let Timmy kept crying and speak to Susan like this for several minutes while trying not to break down themselves. Timmy deserved this moment to himself. He had went through a lot, been through so much, he deserves a chance to unwind with his grandmother right there with him. Pretty soon Timmy sniffed, letting go of the gravestone, and pulled away, wiping his eyes, smiling with tears towards it. Grandma. I have some people to introduce to you. He turned towards Rio and Anna after saying that. They both slowly walked over to stand with him in front of the grave. Grandma, these are my girlfriends. Anna Kazuki and Rio Castle. I met them from another world. You probably won't believe me in being in another world, but I think you would tell me that you believe what I say, no matter how far-fetched it sounds. They always been close to me, and they've been helping me with a lot of things. Timmy talked to the gravestone about them, hoping Susan is hearing somehow. It's nice to meet you. Anna smiled. Your grandson is an amazing person, you should be proud. Yes, he is. No matter what happens, he is always so kind, and he is always so giving. Every chance he gets, he spoils the two of us with the money he has from his new family. Rio agreed, smiling over. Sometimes he does it too much, but we wouldn't have it any other way, and well, he made us realize that. Rio slowly takes Anna's hand in hers. We are also into each other. She smiled towards Anna, saying that. Anna blushed a bit at that. But we're just sorry we couldn't meet you in person. Timmy, he's done so much for so many people, I don't know where to even begin, but thank you for being there for him. Yes, thank you. Rio smiled back towards the gravestone as Timmy smiled, tearful, as they stood there. Timmy? Said boy froze as they looked over, seeing someone was there looking surprised. Looking close, Timmy recognizes him. It was the lawyer who read Susan's will. Is that you? Mr. Sanchez? Timmy asked, recalling him, widening his eyes. So you were here all this time? Mr. Sanchez asked, walking over and stopping beside him. You know, your parents had put up petitions and posters to look for your whereabouts. But while being away, you still tried visiting Susan whenever possible. Who are you? Anna asked. Mr. Sanchez looked, seeing them before he cleared his throat. Apologies, ladies. He pulls out his lawyer badge, showing it to them. I'm Jeffy Sanchez, the personal lawyer of Susan Wixt, and now personal lawyer of Timmy here. He pockets the badge after saying that. I had read Susan's will at the funeral, where he is set to inherit all of the wealth she had left behind when he's 18. His parents were less than pleased, to put it lightly. He then looked at them. Now then, who are you two? Are you perhaps girls they hired as his babysitters? Babysitters? Rio's eye twitched. We are his girlfriends. Oh. I apologize. Mr. Sanchez bowed to show his sincere apology for thinking wrong. It's all right. So why are you at the grave? Anna asked him. I came to also pay my respects to Susan. Imagine my surprise when I see him here as well. Mr. Sanchez spoke, explaining why he's there. When Flyod and Trina reported that their son was missing, I had assumed the worst, that they had done something to him. Turns out, looks like I was worried for nothing. He was missing, none of their usual antics. But they did try to kill me. Timmy pointed out. I barely escaped. Unfortunately, no evidence that they tried. Mr. Sanchez sighed over. And you weren't here to give your side of the story, so it was really a case that held no meaning, and you were decided to be missing. Timmy frowned. You can't tell them you saw us. Rio frowned. Of course, if they find him, they would do something that only Susan knows they would do. Mr. Sanchez promised not to speak of anything that happened here. But before you go, I have something that is for Timmy himself. Huh, something for me? Timmy blinked. Mr. Sanchez knelt down, opening his briefcase, and searches before taking something out. Sometime before Susan died, she asked me to give you this if you're away from your parents. She never told me about it, but I think it's something that she wanted you to know about. He is handing Timmy an envelope that is bulging a little. Blinking, Timmy took the envelope. Thank you. Mr. Sanchez nodded before he bowed, and turned walking off. Now that they are alone, Timmy looked at the envelope. He thought he gotten everything Susan left for him back at the funeral, but apparently Susan left one last thing for him. Something he didn't know about, and if Mr. Sanchez had to give it to him outside the funeral, it must also be something that even his parents don't know. Do you want to open it? Rio asked him. Timmy slowly nodded, opening the envelope. He accidentally ripped it too much that something dropped down to the ground. The letter inside is fine, which relieved Timmy. When they look down, they see what looks like a crystal. A red glowing crystal on one side, and a soft glowing blue crystal on the other side. What the? Anna blinked, picking up the crystal as Timmy looked at the letter. Timmy starts to read it aloud. Dear Timmy, I know by the time you read this letter, I will already be gone. Either cause of my health, or cause of your parents, I don't know. But I want to take this chance to tell you something that I never had a chance to tell you. You see, Timmy, you have powers that no one can comprehend. I know that when you were born, you were already so special. That's why I had to make sure your parents don't turn you into how they want you to grow. For the fate of both Astral World and Barian World. What? Timmy widened his eyes, readying that. Susan knows about Astral and Barian World? But how? She can't have known about them when she was here, would she? Wait, your grandma, how did she know about Astral or Barian World? That doesn't make any sense. Rio frowned. We didn't even know about them until after you arrived, and they're not connected to this world. Timmy, who was your grandmother? Anna asked him. I don't know. Now that I think about it, I never asked much about her life. All she told me was that she had a rather busy and loud life before she had Floyd. Timmy now recalled that Susan was rather vague about her personal life before she had his biological father. Other than that, he knew next to nothing except what he knew about her already. Timmy, I think we need to go back and talk to Astral about all of this. Rio frowned. Well, there's still a bit of the letter to read. Anna looked towards him. Keep reading, Timmy. Timmy nodded, continuing to read the letter. I think you already know about Astral World and Barian World already, and you might be wondering how I know about them. Well, you see, Timmy, I am not human. In truth, I am one of the few remaining astral denizens who had held the power of chaos before it was exiled. The will within Astral World, Eliphaz, had believed that the power of chaos is a power that must be destroyed, and so decided to split us apart to be pure. The power of chaos then grew, and had become into Barian World. Of course, this had also given the rise to the will of Barian World, Dawn 1000. Timmy stopped reading for a second to absorb that, first Susan was a Astral World resident, then she's one of the ones who had the power of chaos, and then some war had split it apart where it became Barian World. And there was also that name, Dawn 1000. Rio and Anna looked absolutely stunned hearing that. Then, does that mean I'm in Astral? Timmy looked at his hand. This not only explains how he can see Astral, but also seemed to have some sort of ability over his dragons like they are now with him. Even if you are, it doesn't change anything, you're still Timmy. Rio told him. The person we love and has friends and family waiting for you. She's right. Anna agreed. Timmy stared before smiling, and then looked back at the letter. All you need to know about Dawn 1000 is that he holds the power of chaos, and had desired for a powerful artifact. An artifact with the ability to reshape the universe as he sees fit. No doubt, you've already dreamed about it, the Numeran Code. He seeks to use the code to shape the universe as he sees fit, and become the most powerful god within all the realms, even through destroying Astral World itself. I knew about the danger that despite being defeated by the original number, I had foresaw about his return. I had retreated here in this world to one day, be ready when he returns. But age had caught up, and my powers waned. I cannot assist the original number in my condition.
But then you were born.
I knew you are someone who can stop Don Thousand, and keep the numeron code safe from him. I don't know how, but I know you can do this as you are destined to stop him. I had left behind what was left of my power for you. Reading this, he looked towards the crystal in Anna's hand.
Anna blinked but handed Timmy the crystal. I guess it's a good thing your parents didn't know about this, and try to sell it. Timmy takes a second to look at the crystal.
He can feel Astral's power, and the power of the baryons within in perfect harmony, like Penelope, except, this seems to be different. Like the letter said, Susan is one of the few astral denizens who still have the power of chaos within herself, so she must have turned all of the power she had left in this world into this crystal, and made her full-blooded human in the process. Now this was the crystal she left for him to use.
What are you going to do? Rio asked him.
Timmy stared before he continued reading the letter.
The crystal contains all that is left of my power as a resident of astral world with the power of chaos I didn't expel. Eliphas claims that chaos is poison, but without chaos we are dying.
Astral world is dying without chaos, and we cannot let it stay unfused with us forever. Now, you need to stop Don Thousand, and help the original number keep the numeron code safe. Bring the crystal to the necklace, you will inherit at my funeral, and you can access its full power. Although be warned, by the time you're reading this, I have a feeling the original number will be tested to further gain strength. You will also partake in this test the moment you unite the crystal and the necklace. You can do it, I know you can.
Good luck, Timmy. From, your grandmother, Susan.
After he finished reading, Timmy lowered his hand, dropping the letter as he stared in silence as tears started to pick up in his eyes again.
Rio and Anna both hugged him tightly. Rio. Anna. It was too much to process all at once.
First, Susan is a resident of Astral World. She already figured out he was someone to save the two worlds, knew about an evil god's return, and trusts him to defeat him to stop him from gaining the numeron code.
He wasn't sure what to think, at all honesty. Does his dad know? Wasn't Eliphas aware of this? How long would it take for the baryons to realize this? And when will Don Thousand emerge to start?
We need to go back, the others need to hear about this.
Anna mentioned with a frown. Meanwhile, with Yuma.
Yuma, Ray, and Tori are at the nurse's office together, with Yuma having the Emperor's key in the bed like it was the patient, while Yuma stared worried for it. He was also thinking of things.
Does Astral need a temperature? Does he need to stay in bed? Does he need some bandages?
Oh, he can't control himself out of his anxiety for him.
It'll work out, Yuma, I'm sure of it.
Tori reassured him gently.
Oh, I can't see if he needs help. Should I get the nurse? Yuma, I don't think the nurse can help. Ray pointed out. Still, there's gotta be something I can do. Yuma spoke worried, thinking he can't handle this anymore. But suddenly the Emperor's key began glowing brightly. Huh, what's happening? Tori asked, shielding her eyes.
They stared before Yuma vanished in a gold light. As soon as Tori and Ray regained their vision, they see Yuma is gone.
Huh, wait, where'd he go? Ray blinked, seeing that.
Of course, a part of him turned towards the key.
Astral must have needed Yuma for something. Back with Timmy.
While they are chatting how to return the crystal, and Timmy's hand started glowing, which caught their attention.
That crystal is glowing. Rio pointed out. They looked over before Timmy remembered something. Wait.
Reaching, he pulls out the locket. Bringing them close together, the crystal was glowing brighter.
When he pulled them away, the crystal went dim. I guess, put them together? Anna suggested.
Timmy looks around the locket, finding how to put them together. Soon he finds a hole that he always wondered if it held something but broke off at some point. So he reached, inserting the crystal within the hole.
The moment he did, the crystal glowed really bright. Ah! Anna cried as the three of them had to shield their eyes from the glow. Soon the three vanished in red and blue glows. A cemetery caretaker who had seen the light looked out to see what's up. When he found nothing, he shrugged to the camera and headed back in the building. Within the Emperor's Key, Astral was in thought for a long while. The sudden appearance of number 96 worried him. Even though he would never trust that spirit, he knew deep in his heart that he's correct. He does need assistance but is hesitant to accept it. This is the number who fooled them before, and he wants to make sure not to fall for the same trick again. His mission needs to be clear for him to know, and it concerns the numbers. Suddenly, while meditating with the numbers, the wall in front of him started shifting before it formed into a demonic gate, much to his shock. What in the world? He questioned, seeing the gate. Are you ready, Astral? A test has been triggered for you, the gate spoke towards him. A test? What kind of test? Astral questioned, floating to the gate. The test that shall see if you are ready to proceed further. Fail, and all will be lost, the gate spoken before it vanished Astral outside of the chamber he was previously in. But something formed. Two gladiator-like giant figures with shields as dual discs and tattered cloaks. Astral's eyes widened seeing them. A duel? Then am I to choose which of you is my opponent? The test requires the both of us, one giant spoke. To see if both you, and the one chosen to save Barian World to be ready for a head, the other added. Save Barian World, what are you talking about? Astral questioned. Before they can answer, a red light shot down that Astral noticed. When it landed beside him, it was Yuma, who looked around confused. Seeing Astral, Yuma widened his eyes. Astral. Suddenly realizing something, he looked around. Are we inside the key again, like with Kite? He faintly recalled this area, where he and Astral went into Zexal for the first time against Kite, and almost defeated him if it wasn't for photon shock that ended the match in a draw. I believe so. Astral nodded. Yuma chosen to save Barian World, that doesn't make any sense. Suddenly another light, this time of blue and red, shot down over. It stopped beside them, where it shows first the two girls who yelped, waving their arms, realizing they are in the air, before dropping down groaning, before Timmy materialized holding the now completed locket, and landed onto them, which they yelped in pain, groaning, while Timmy looked confused over what just happened. Seeing he's on the ground, he widened his eyes. Anna, Rio. Sorry. He quickly climbed off to help them up. Timmy, what's going on? Yuma asked before his eyes widened. What the? Giants. They turned over, seeing the two giants. They are here a test to see if I'm ready to continue with my mission. Astral spoke to the four of them. It must be that you two, Timmy, and Yuma, are to assist me in passing this. A test? What kind of test? Yuma frowned, only to notice the giants had dual discs. Oh, a duel, well, count me in, Astral. Right. Figuring this is the test that Susan spoke in his letter, Timmy also readied. He turned towards Anna and Rio. Stay behind us, me and Yuma will do this test for Astral. Be careful. Anna frowned nervously. Timmy nodded as he stood beside Yuma. Then he turned to him and Astral. Yuma, Astral, something first before we start the test? Huh, what is it, Timmy? Yuma asked. Well, we both have an even bigger destiny than I thought, Yuma. I visited my grandmother's grave just now, and she left a letter for me to find. Timmy admitted to them. A letter? What kind of letter? Astral inquired. I'm sorry, if we manage to pass the test, I'll tell you more. Timmy figured it'd be better to tell them later when they get a chance, just needed to say that he and Yuma are more connected than he thought. Astral looked unsure but nodded. Very well. So they turned, readying over against the shadow giants. Duel. Dueling theme, same old page by Burden of the Sky. Yuma and Timmy, 8,000. Hands, both, 5. Field, nothing. Shadow giants, 8,000. Hands, both, 5. Field, nothing. Let the duel commence. Shadow giant, A, first turn. The shadow giant looked at its hand.
I set 4 cards face down and end my turn. Shadow Giant, A, S hand, 1/field with Shadow Giant, B 4 set cards.
Yuma first turn.
4 set cards?
Yuma blinked from this.
Then he shrugged.
Ah well, can't worry too much. Okay, I draw.
He drew, checking over. These are 2 new opponents, so he can't get careless this time. He doesn't know what they do, so he should focus on some defense.
Okay, I start by summoning Gagaga Magician. At that, Gagaga Magician rose on the field. Attack position. Gagaga Magician. Dark. Level 4.
Spellcaster/effect.
ATK 1500. Def 1000.
Once per turn, you can declare a level from 1 to 8. This card becomes that level until the end of this turn.
You can only control 1 Gagaga Magician.
Cannot be used as a synchro material. I activate the Trap Jar of Greed, and Chain Detonation, and Chain Strike, the Shadow Giant declared.
Jar of Greed. Normal trap card. Draw 1 card. Chain Detonation. Normal trap card. Inflict 500 damage to your opponent.
If this card was activated as Chain Link 2 or 3, add this card to the deck and shuffle it. If this card was activated as Chain Link 4 or higher, return this card to the hand.
Chain Strike.
Quick play spell card. Activate only as Chain Link 2 or higher, inflict 400 damage to your opponent times the Chain Link number of this card. You cannot activate this card if multiple cards/effects with the same name are in that chain.
Wadash. Yuma blinked, seeing the moment he summons something they are doing something.
Chain Strike deals 400 damage times the chain link of this spell. For 1200 points of damage, the Shadow Giant answered. Chain Detonation deals 500 damage, and as it was the second chain link, it is shuffled back into my deck instead of going to the graveyard, and Jar of Greed allows me to draw 1 card. So he drew, which both Yuma and Timmy got burned. Yuma and Timmy, 6300/hands, both 5.
So they're using burn decks. Timmy realized as they try recovering.
Always hard decks to beat before the effect damage gets you first.
Be careful, you two. Anna frowned. Right. I'll just only defend for now. I end my turn. Setting 2 cards, Yuma called his turn for now.
Yuma's hand, 3/field with Timmy, Gagaga Magician, attack position, 2 set cards.
Shadow Giant, B, first turn. My turn, the second Shadow Giant stated. I activate the Trap Quantum Cat, the first Shadow Giant stated calmly. Face up. Quantum Cat. Continuous trap card.
Activate this card by declaring 1 monster type and 1 attribute. Special summon this card as a normal monster, level 4/ATK 0/Def 2200, with that type and attribute. This card is also still a trap.
I declare Water and Aqua. This trap is then summoned as a monster with that type and attribute.
A spirit-like cat appeared within a cage onto the field. Quantum Cat, defense position /water/LV4/aqua/ATK 0/Def 2200.
A trap monster. Yuma stared over at this. His duel with Flip taught him not to underestimate trap monsters.
I summon Umanotoros, the Shadow Giant stated as a jellyfish-like monster holding a spear rose up.
Attack position. Umanotaurus. Water. Level 4. Aqua/effect. ATK 1700. Def 1000.
If a fish, sea serpent, or aqua-type monster you control attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage to your opponent.
Then as a monster was summoned, I can summon Catchtockage from my hand.
The same gecko monster Yuma frequently summons rose up readying onto the field.
Attack position. Catchtockage. Dark. Level 4. Reptile/effect. ATK 1100. Def 1500. Cannot be normal summon/set. Must first be special summoned by its own effect.
When you normal summon a level 4 monster, you can special summon this card from your hand.
cannot be used as synchro material. This gives us 3 level 4 monsters. 3 level 4 monsters usually means a powerful XYZ monster. Rio admitted over to Anna. Yeah. Anna frowned in agreement.
I overlay my 3 level 4 monsters in order to XYZ summon Unformed Void.
Attack position. Unformed Void. Water. Rank 4. Aqua XYZ effect. ATK 0. Def 0. 3 level 4 monsters.
Once per turn, during your opponent's main phase, you can detach 1 XYZ material from this card. This card gains ATK and Def equal to the total ATK of all face-up XYZ monsters your opponent currently controls. This is a quick effect.
Oru 3.
Materializing was some sort of large void having multiple spots around that looked like closed eyes. This monster was honestly freaky looking to them, although they are on guard from no attack points, which should mean powerful effects this card should have. I set 2 cards and end my turn, the second giant stated. Shadow Giant, B, S hand, 2/field with Shadow Giant, Unformed Void, ORU, 3, 2 set cards.
Timmy first turn. Okay. Timmy knew that for him to do as Susan believes he can do, he has to pass this test.
So he knew that he needs to succeed starting with dueling these 2.
Reaching he drew. I draw. He checked his hand before looking towards Unformed Void.
He had never seen this monster, and doesn't know what it can do. 0 points could mean anything, so Timmy needs to be careful not to get caught on its trap.
Be cautious, Timothy, that monster likely has a dangerous ability. Astral frowned. Right. Timmy nodded, checking over his hand again.
Then he nodded, seeing what he can do.
Okay, I'll start by activating Dragon Scale Archiving.
One of his spells appeared.
Face up. Dragon Scale Archiving. Continuous spell card.
When this card activates, place 2 Dragon Archiver monsters with different names from your deck in your pendulum zones.
For the rest of this turn after this effect resolves, you can only special summon once.
Once per turn, when a Dragon Archiver monster on the field activates its effect, the player that activated that monster's effect gains 1000 LP.
You can only control 1 Dragon Scale Archiving.
I take 2 Dragon Archivers from my deck and place them to my pendulum zones, but I can only special summon 1 time this turn.
Timmy takes his deck, searching over what cards to use before then taking his 2 selected ones. Scale 9, Dragon Archiver.
Winkleton, and Scale 1, Dragon Archiver, Roale. Winkleton and Roale rose in between him and Yuma, raising up for some pendulum action.
Pendulum. Dragon Archiver, Roale. Dark. Level 6. Pendulum Scale 1. Dragon Effect Pendulum. ATK 2000. Def 1200. Pendulum Effect, Dragon Archiver monsters on the field cannot be destroyed by card effects once per turn.
Once per turn, you can target 1 Dragon Archiver monster on the field. That target cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effect until your opponent's end phase. Monster Effect, if your opponent summons a monsters, target 1 of those monsters, and 1 other monster you control, increase or decrease the second target's level by the first target monster's level. If this card is used as material or tribute for a summon of a dragon monster, you can target 1 spell/trap in your GY, add that card to your hand. You can only activate this effect of Dragon Archiver Roale once per turn.
Pendulum. Dragon Archiver Winkleton. Light. Level 6. Pendulum Scale 9. Dragon Effect Pendulum. ATK 2200. Def 2000.
Pendulum Effect, negate activated effects that targets a Dragon Archiver monster on the field except Dragon Archiver monsters or cards that said Dragon Archiver in its text. When a Dragon Archiver monster is destroyed by battle, inflict 500 damage to your opponent. Monster Effect, when this card is normal or special summoned, you contribute this card, special summon 2 Dragon Archiver monsters from your extra deck or GY that are the same level in defense position, but negate their effects. If this card is used as material for a summon of a dragon monster, you can banish one card from both players' GYs. You can only activate this effect of Dragon Archiver Winkleton once per turn.
Nice, that'll definitely help. Yuma grinned. Dragon sorcerers built on the ancient archive. Grant us your boon on your wisdom. Pendulum summon. Come my monsters.
At that the portal shot 2 monsters.
Dragon Archivers Williamston and Toloki.
Both the low-level Dragon Archivers rose up readying knelling down. Of course, he normal summoned Williamston as its level is not between the scale.
Defense position. Dragon Archiver Toloki. Dark. Level 3. Pendulum scale 2. Dragon effect pendulum. ATK 1200. Def 200. Pendulum effect, Dragon Archiver monsters on the field cannot be destroyed by card effects once per turn.
Once per turn, if your opponent activates the effect of a Dragon Archiver monster, you can draw 2 cards, then discard 1 card. Monster effect, during your main phase if you summon a monster, activate this effect, decrease or increase this card's level by 1. If this card is used as material or tribute for a summon of a dragon monster, you can draw 1 card. You can only activate this effect of Dragon Archiver Toloki once per turn.
Attack position. Dragon Archiver Williamston. Dark. Level 1. Pendulum scale 10. Dragon effect pendulum. ATK 100. Def 1300.
Pendulum effect, Dragon Archiver monsters on the field cannot be targeted by your opponent's card effects. Once per turn, if a Dragon Archiver monster is destroyed by battle or by card effect, you can draw 1 card. Monster effect, during your draw phase, special summon 1 monster from your hand, but negate its effects, also this card's level becomes the same level as that monster. If this card is used as material or tribute for a summon of a dragon monster, you can inflict 1000 damage to your opponent. You can only activate this effect of Dragon Archiver Williamston once per turn.
The 2 shadow giants looked on calmly.
I place 1 card down to end my turn. Timmy didn't attack as he wasn't sure what this monster can do, and is certain it had some sort of powerful battle effect. Well, not something Yubel levels as they are usually more difficult to summon, but something like that at least.
Maybe something like number 96. Timmy's hand, 2/field with Yuma.
Dragon Archiver Role, Pendulum, Dragon Archiver Winkleton, Pendulum, Dragon Archiver Toloki, Defense Position, Dragon Archiver Williamston, Defense Position, Gagaga Magician, Attack Position, Dragon Scale Archiving, Face Up, 3 set cards.
Yuma and Timmy, 6300. Hands, Yuma, 3/Timmy, 2.
Field, Dragon Archiver Role, Pendulum, Dragon Archiver Winkleton, Pendulum, Dragon Archiver Toloki, Defense Position, Dragon Archiver Williamston, Defense Position, Gagaga Magician, Attack Position, Dragon Scale Archiving, Face Up, 3 set cards.
Shadow Giants, 8000. Hands, both, 2.
Field, Unformed Void, Attack Position /ORU, 3, 2 set cards.
Shadow Giant 1 second turn.
The Shadow Giant drew his card before looking. I set 3 cards and end my turn. Shadow Giant, A, S hand, 0/field with Shadow Giant, B Unformed Void, ORU, 3, 5 set cards.
Yuma's second turn. Again didn't summon anything? Yuma raised an eyebrow.
They must be playing like Umbra and Loomis.
Timmy spoke as this gives him nostalgia over the masked duo Yugi and Kaiba faced in Battle City. Unlike them, there is no bomb active threatening to kill them if they take too long.
One focuses on spells and traps, the other focuses on monsters.
Maybe, but I don't like this. Yuma frowned. Either way, we can't sit here and think, we need to keep going. Agreeing with Astral, Yuma readied drawing. Okay, I draw.
And as Williamston's controller Yuma, you have to summon a monster during your draw phase, then Williamston's level becomes the same as what you summoned.
Timmy spoken up for him. That'll definitely help. Anna mentioned. Checking Yuma made his choice. Alright then I'll summon Dodo Warrior. From that, the Dodo warrior rose up, readying his large axe. Attack position. Effects negated. The Dodo warrior. Earth. Level 6. Warrior/effect. ATK 2300. Def 900. You can normal summon this card without tributing, but its original ATK becomes 1800. If this card attacks, negate all card effects that activate in the opponent's graveyard until the end of the damage step. Since you just activated the effect of a Dragon Archiver, Dragon Scale Archiving gives us 1000 points. Timmy said his spell blowed healing Timmy, and Yuma just a bit. Yuma and Timmy, 7300/hands, Yuma, 3/Timmy, 2. The Shadow Giants frown slightly seeing that. Williamston, LV, 1 + 5 = 6. And as you just summoned a monster, to Loki's level either goes up or down by 1. Alright, I'll increase his level then. Yuma called as to Loki grew a little. To Loki, LV, 3 + 1 = 4. I have a good feeling about this. Anna smiled. Alright, I'm so feeling the flow. I overlay level 6 to Dodo Warrior and Williamston. The two blowed bright, flying into the overlay network. So now come on. Number 72, Shogi Rook. A brown 72 appeared before it started to manifesting what looked like a shogi piece. Then it started unforming into some type of entity where both its hands are chakrams with shogi pieces within, with a red 72 on its body. Attack position. Number 72, Shogi Rook. Earth. Rank 6. Beast Warrior/effect XYZ. ATK 2500. Def 1200. 2 level 6 monsters. Cannot be destroyed by battle, except with a number monster. Once per turn, you can detach 2 materials from this card, then target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls and 1 set spell/trap your opponent controls, destroy them. Also, any battle damage your opponent takes is halved for the rest of this turn. Oru, 2. I activate Unformed Void's ability. By using 1 overlay unit, it gains the attack points of every XYZ monster you control, the first Shadow Giant stated. Unformed Void, ORU, 3/2/ADK, 0 + 2500 = 2500. Surprised they all watched as the closed eyes on Unformed Void opened it, staring straight at Shogi Rook while quickly gaining power, matching it with Shogi Rook. So that's why it didn't have points. It depends on the strength of the XYZ monsters on the field. Timmy realized. Well, that'd be the only time. I use Shogi Rook's ability. Yuma readied over as Shogi Rook takes 2 overlay units. ORU, 2/1 is 0, by using all its overlay units, in exchange for them taking half the damage done by battle this turn, a monster, and a set card they control are destroyed. Shogi Rook readied the chakram arms, throwing them over towards the 2 targets. I play the trap XYZ Reflect. Shadow Giant 1 declared using one of his face downs. As your effect targeted an XYZ monster, this negates that effect and destroys your monster, then you take 800 points of damage. XYZ Reflect. Counter trap card. When a spell card, trap card, or monster effect is activated that targets a face-up XYZ monsters on the field, negate the activation, and if you do, destroy it, then inflict 800 damage to your opponent. The chakram struck a barrier, reflecting back towards Shogi Rook as it groaned loud being struck, and detonated loud that Yuma yelled out, landing on his stomach from his number destroyed behind him. Yuma and Timmy, 6500/hands, Yuma, 3/Timmy, 2. You okay, Yuma? Timmy asked him, concerned from how that was. Yeah, I think so. Yuma shakes his head, getting up. Okay, plan B. Hopefully it works better. Anna frowned. Yuma then raised his arm. Alright then, I'll overlay Gagaga Magician and Taloki. The 2 remaining monsters glowed, flying up towards the overlay network. Carry hope on white wings. XYZ Summon. Come forth, number 39. Messenger of Light. Utopia. Utopia's seal form rose from the overlay network before forming over, readying onto the field against the 2 Shadow Giants. Attack position. Number 39, Utopia. Light. Rank 4. Warrior Effect XYZ. ATK, 2500. Def, 2000. 2 level 4 monsters. Cannot be destroyed by battle, except with a number monster. When a monster declares an attack, you can detach one material from this card, negate the attack. If this card is targeted for an attack, while it has no material, destroy this card. Oru, 2. Utopia and that monster have the same attack points. Rio frowned. But Utopia is a number, and only numbers can destroy other numbers in battle. Astral mentioned to the girls. Even if they have the same points, only Unformed Void will be destroyed. If you're sure. Anna admitted only to frown. Alright, let's go Utopia. Attack Unformed Void. Utopia readied, grabbing his swords for the chance to destroy Unformed Void. Rising Sun slash. Utopia jumped up, readying his blades to slash down onto it. Unformed Void shattered from the attack, but no damage was dealt. No, that looked to be too easy. Timmy narrowed his eyes, a bit suspicious seeing this. A monster as powerful as Unformed Void, defeated easily like that? No, something doesn't seem right. Well, no sense to worry. Yuma grinned over from the XYZ, gone from the field. I end my turn. Yuma's hand, 3/field with Timmy, Dragon Archiver Role, Pendulum, Dragon Archiver Winkleton, Pendulum, number 39, Utopia, attack position /ORU, 2, Dragon Scale Archiving, face up, 3 set cards. Shadow Giant 2 second turn. The second Shadow Giant drew his card. I activate the trap XYZ Reborn. XYZ Reborn. Normal trap card. Target one XYZ monster in your GY, special summon it, and if you do, attach this card to it as material. I chain as second chain detonation, chain healing, and accumulated fortune, the first Shadow Giant stated. Chain healing. Normal trap card. Gain 500 life points. If this card was activated as Chain Link 2 or 3, add this card to the deck and shuffle it. If this card was activated as Chain Link 4 or higher, return this card to the hand. Accumulated fortune. Normal trap card. Activate only as Chain Link 4 or higher. Draw 2 cards. You cannot activate this card if multiple cards/effects with the same name are in that chain. Chain Healing restores 500 of our life points, and as it was Chain Link 3, it shuffled back into the deck, and Accumulated Fortune lets me draw 2 cards. From that, Unformed Void rose out of the graveyard, once again dormant, while Fire Blast threw the 2 again. Yuma and Timmy, 6000/hands, Yuma, 3/Timmy, 2. Shadow Giants, 8500/hands, Shadow Giant, a 0/Shadow Giant, B5. Unformed Void, ORU, 1. I knew, it looked to be too easy. Timmy frowned seeing this. They focus on keeping Unformed Void on the field, and use it to dominate the field. It sounds like you're having quite a bit of trouble, mentioned a voice. Hearing that, something formed near them as they turned, showing number 96 smirking with crossed arms. Only Rio is unfamiliar with him. Huh, who's that? Rio blinked. Number 96. Timmy widened his eyes. Weren't expecting me, were you? Number 96 smirked over towards them. I'd love to chat through memory lane for my revenge, however, I can see you two are having quite a bit of trouble. It is quite simple, if you want to pass this, Astral must let me go, and I will lend you my aid. What makes you think we will do that? Yuma glared over towards him. Astral knows I am speaking the truth. Without me, he isn't complete. Number 96 spoke with a smirk. We do not require your help. Astral frowned. You might think you don't, but later on you do. We shall see, won't we? For now, I will spectate, but remember, give me a holler if you change your mind. Number 96 at that floated back a few feet to give them some peace, and watch only coming if they agreed to his offer. An offer that doesn't set well with the two. They are in a bit of a bind, but right now, they look like they can manage it. Unformed Void doesn't have any ATK, and with only one overlay unit, can only gain Utopia's points only once.
Plus Timmy haven't summoned any of his dragons yet, so if he can summon just one of them, even if it's Dark Rebellion, they can get a chance.
The second shadow giant looked at his hand. I activate the spell Overlay Capture. Overlay Capture. Normal spell card.
Target one face-up XYZ monster your opponent controls that has XYZ material and one face-up XYZ monster you control. Detach all XYZ materials from the opponent's monster, and if you do, attach this card to your monster as an XYZ material. This spell detaches all of Utopia's overlay units, and then I attack this spell as an overlay unit to Unformed Void. What?
Yuma and Timmy widen their eyes as they watched Utopia's overlay units are forcibly removed from him.
The spell used for it formed into an overlay unit for Unformed Void, allowing it to get a bit stronger.
Utopia, ORU, 2-1 is 0. Unformed Void, ORU, 1-2. Now Utopia can't stop any of the attacks they do, and if they attack Utopia now, it will automatically destroy itself.
Although that second part was unlikely, as if Utopia leaves the field, they would have nothing to make Unformed Void stronger, which they no doubt know, as being the ones testing Astral they would know his strategies with Utopia.
This just gotten a lot more difficult.
I set 2 cards and end my turn, the Shadow Giant stated. Shadow Giant, B.S. hand, 2/field with Shadow Giant, Unformed Void, RU, 2 set cards.
Timmy's second turn.
Now Timmy has to be careful, it won't be so easy trying to destroy Unformed Void a second time the same way, plus they'd be more cautious about it at this rate. So he has to get it off the field quick, and if he can summon one of his dragons he can do that. He drew, thinking only to hear number 96 spoke.
Still refusing my offer, young man?
Shut up! Timmy yelled over, not in the mood for him right now, which made the evil number shrug with a smirk.
Timmy checks over his hand for what to do.
From this, he can summon one dragon, and get rid of Unformed Void. Of course, he isn't sure if the Shadow Giants have anything for that.
If you insist.
Number 96 smirked.
Timmy checks over.
Then, getting an idea, he nodded before raising up.
Alright then. I'll pendulum summon again. As to Loki and Williamston are in the graveyard, I'll just summon some new monsters. Yuma grinned hearing that.
So now come Dragon Archiver Yggdrasil and Dragon Archiver Dingernell. From that, Yggdrasil and Dingernell rose up, readying on the field.
Attack position. Dragon Archiver Yggdrasil. Wind. Level 4. Pendulum Scale, 7. Dragon Pendulum Effect. ATK, 1500. Def, 800. Pendulum Effect, Dragon Archiver monsters on the field gain 300 ATK.
Once per turn, if your opponent activates the effect of a Dragon Archiver monster. You can change the effect to where it's as if you activated that effect instead. Monster Effect, at the start of your battle phase, target one monster you control, that monster gains 1000 ATK until the end of the battle phase. If this card is used as material or tribute for a summon of a dragon monster, you can special summon one level 4 or lower Dragon Archiver monster from your deck to either player's field in defense position. You can only activate this effect of Dragon Archiver Yggdrasil once per turn.
Attack position. Dragon Archiver Dingernell. Wind. Level 4. Pendulum Scale, 2. Dragon Pendulum Effect. ATK, 1500. Def, 1100. Pendulum Effect, Dragon Archiver monsters on the field cannot be destroyed by battle once per turn.
Once per turn, if a Dragon Archiver monster you control is targeted by an opponent's card effect, you can negate the activation. Monster Effect, at the end of the battle phase, if an opponent's monster was destroyed by battle this turn, gain 1000 LP. If this card is used as material or tribute for a summon of a dragon monster, you can inflict 200 damage to your opponent for each card they currently control. You can only activate this effect of Dragon Archiver Dingernell once per turn. Although this move is risky, is what he can do now. Now I overlay Yggdrasil and Dingernell to build the overlay network. The two blowed, flying up towards the overlay network. The archives of the dragons focus on studying the treacherous fangs. And now the dragon that sleeps in the pitch-black darkness is ready to fight all those foolish enough to oppose it.
XYZ Summon. Rank 4, Dark Rebellion XYZ Dragon. Dark Rebellion popped out readying onto the field roaring loud. Attack position. Dark Rebellion XYZ Dragon. Dark. Rank 4. Dragon Effect XYZ. ATK, 2500. Def, 2000. 2 level 4 monsters. You can detach 2 materials from this card, then target one face-up monster your opponent controls. Its ATK becomes half its current ATK, and if it does, this card gains that lost ATK. Oru, 2. Number 96 didn't felt it or recognized it before, but when Dark Rebellion was summoned, he quickly noticed something within Dark Rebellion. A dark power, a power that he possesses himself. His eyes widened in shock. This boy, it couldn't be, just who is he? I activate Unformed Void's effect. One of the shadow giants raised his arm as Unformed Void takes a unit absorbing some of Utopia and Dark Rebellion's power. Unformed Void, ATK, 0 plus 2500 plus 2500 equals 5000/ORU, 2-1. Not good. Yuma panicked seeing that. Well, as Dingernell was used to summon a dragon, you both take 200 points of damage for every card on your field. Timmy called as 3 orbs of energy struck the giants together. Shadow Giants, 7900/hands, Shadow Giant, a 0/Shadow Giant, B2, then as Yggdrasil was used for a dragon, I summon Renoto from my deck in defense position. Renoto rose from his deck readying on the field. Defense position. Dragon Archiver Renoto. Dark. Level 3. Pendulum Scale, 8. Dragon Pendulum Effect. ATK, 1400. Def, 500. Pendulum Effect. Dragon Archiver monsters on the field cannot be targeted by your opponent's card effects. Once per turn, if a Dragon Archiver monster you control is targeted by an opponent's attack, you can target the attacking monster, negate the attack. Monster Effect. Once per turn, if you take battle or effect damage, inflict the same amount of damage to your opponent. If this card is used as material or tribute for a summon of a dragon monster, you can make that summon monster gain 1000 ATK. You can only activate this effect of Dragon Archiver Renoto once per turn. And as I used a Dragon Archiver's effect, we gain 1000 life points. Yuma and Timmy, 7000/hands, Yuma, 3/Timmy, 1. Timmy then raised his arm. I activate Dark Rebellion's ability. I use both overlay units for it to take half of Unformed Void's points. Treason Discharge. Dark Rebellion roared, opening his wings and binding up Unformed Void. Dark Rebellion, ATK, 2500 plus 2500 equals 5000/ORU, 2-1-0. Unformed Void, ATK, 5000 divided by 2 is equal to 2500. That's perfect. Anna smiled. Battle. Dark Rebellion attack Unformed Void. Dark Rebellion roared, charging straight towards Unformed Void. One of the shadow giants activated his facedown. Trap card, Magic Cylinder activate. Magic Cylinder. Normal trap card. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, target the attacking monster, negate the attack, and if you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to its ATK. As you're attacking, I can redirect the attack towards you. What? Timmy widened his eyes as Dark Rebellion entered one cylinder and exited out the other. It barely had any time to process what happened, unable to stop its attack as it struck Timmy large, which he yelled out, landing hard on the ground. Yuma and Timmy, 2000/hands, Yuma, 3/Timmy, 1. Timmy. Anna and Rio cried, running to him. Timmy slowly raised up, shaking his head before he looked over. Well, you're still taking damage. As we took damage, Renoto's mandatory effect inflicts the same amount of damage to you too. Renoto charged a dark flame, blasting over at the two shadow giants, who winced together from the large blast. Shadow Giants, 2900/hands, Shadow Giant, a 0/Shadow Giant, B2. Well, not bad. Number 96 chuckled.
It would have been better if you didn't take the damage too, but I suppose a draw is the best you can hope for now. I'm still not done here. Timmy spoke weakened a bit from the 5,000 attack he had just took. He then pointed over. Alright Utopia, your attack. Destroy Unformed Void once more with Rising Sun Slash. Utopia readied, charging in towards Unformed Void like before. This time the giants were prepared. Draining Shield activated. Draining Shield. Normal Trap card. If an opponent's monster declares an attack, target the attacking monster, negate that attack, and if you do, gain LP equal to that target's ATK. As a monster is attacking, the attack is negated, and we regain life points equal to your monster's attack points. The second Shadow Giant spoke as Utopia's sword slashed a barrier protecting Unformed Void while the two Shadow Giants recovered some energy. Shadow Giants, 5400/hands, Shadow Giant, a 0/Shadow Giant, B2. Are you kidding? They just recovered half the damage Timmy dealt. Anna cried in shock. Gore. At this rate, he and Yuma are gonna lose to the Shadow Giants. There must be something. Anything he can do. He can't keep healing them at this rate, and if they don't attack, Unformed Void is gonna get stronger. To 10,000 ATK when it's Yuma's turn again, a type of ATK they can't survive against. I am here. Number 96 spoke smirking. You need me, just give me an indication. Yuma and Timmy looked towards him while he smirked towards them. They recall his effect. Unlike Dark Rebellion, Dark Mist can use its ability more than once, 3 times at most, and can do it during battle, something that Unformed Void can't gain power at. Of course, they need 3 level 2s to do, and Astral needs to release him in order to do that, but can they do it though? The risks are too dangerous, and number 96 will be released if they try him. Despite both of their refusal, they know that unless they accept his offer, they will lose. It'll be your turn next, Yuma, we will decide by then. Timmy ultimately chooses to consider it once it's Yuma's turn again. Yuma frowned as he could tell what Dark Mist meant, but could he really trust him? After everything he did, it was unlikely, but if something happened to Timmy, what other choice did he have? Still, it's something, and besides, at least Unformed Void will always be weaker if they try. With that in mind, Timmy raised up, looking over at the giants. I end my turn. Timmy's hand, 1/field with Yuma, Dragon Archiver Role, Pendulum, Dragon Archiver Winkleton, Pendulum, number 39, Utopia, attack position, Dark Rebellion XYZ Dragon, attack position /ADK, 5000, Dragon Scale Archiving, face up, 3 set cards. Yuma and Timmy, 2000. Hands, Yuma, 3/Timmy, 1. Field, Dragon Archiver Role, Pendulum, Dragon Archiver Winkleton, Pendulum, number 39, Utopia, attack position, Dark Rebellion XYZ Dragon, attack position /ADK, 5000, Dragon Scale Archiving, face up, 3 set cards. Shadow Giants, 5400. Hands, Shadow Giant, a 0/Shadow Giant, B2. Field. Unformed Void, attack position /ATK, 2500/ORU, 2. Shadow Giant, A, third turn. My turn again, I draw. The first Shadow Giant drew, checking over before he then raising a card. Suffer under, Heavy Storm. Heavy Storm. Normal spell card. Destroy all spell and trap cards on the field. At that, a large storm blown on the field, showing the set cards the 3 had, half unbreak, battle break, and Timmy's face down that wasn't used before been destroyed. They, and Timmy's face-up pendulum monsters alongside Dragon Scale Archiving all were blown away at the intense strength of the storm. Been a lot time since I last seen Heavy Storm. By all accounts, Heavy Storm was a powerful card, and on the forbidden ban list for very good reasons. This is bad. Anna frowned nervously. Now attack that monster. Unformed Void charged an attack, blasting over towards Renotu, who yelled out before shattering. I end my turn. With nothing else, the first Shadow Giant ended his turn. Next turn, they can finish this. Shadow Giant, A, S hand, 0/field with Shadow Giant, B Unformed Void, attack position /ORU, 2/ATK, 2500. Yuma fourth turn. Okay, I draw. Yuma drew over. And I will use Pot of Greed to draw 2 cards. He uses the spell drawing 2 cards.
Pot of Greed. Normal spell card. Draw 2 cards.
Unformed Void's effect activates. The shadow giants called as Unformed Void grew stronger.
Stronger than anything they have right now.
Unformed Void, ATK, 2500 plus 2500 plus 5000 equals 10,000/ORU, 2 to 1.
10,000 points. Rio cried in shock. Yuma grunted over from this.
They can't handle this kind of attack, and the kinds of cards he has now can't help against it?
What now? Yuma?
He turned towards Astral, who spoke to him.
What do you think? Should we accept number 90's XS offer? You're seriously considering it?
You know he is right. Unless we employ his help we will lose, and worse.
Yuma grunted over.
Timmy stared before he turns to the girls.
What do you two think? If you don't have any other option, you should do it. Rio admitted. But you can't trust Dark Mist, he's too dangerous. Anna frowned. Oh, don't worry.
Number 96 spoken over with his smirk. If you release me, I'll keep my word, that I will assist you in this duel, nothing more.
Yuma stared over, still having doubts.
Eventually he grunted, and turned over to Astral.
Do it, Astral.
Nodding in understanding, Astral raised an arm as the card of Dark Mist appeared in front of him.
Number 96, you better keep your end of the bargain.
Astral called as he destroyed the chains binding the card before it floated into Yuma's deck. Upon the chains being broken, number 90's excess form changed as his legs formed as he was only a spirit, but now he manifested for real once more like before.
Be careful. Anna frowned. Number 96 smirked, floating over.
Now then, summon me here, and I will ensure victory.
Yuma grunted, checking over, seeing how he can do this.
Then noticing the combo he nodded.
All right. Taking a card, he raises it. I activate Monster Reborn. Monster Reborn. Normal spell card. Target one monster in either GY, special summon it.
So now, I summon back Dragon Archiver, Loki from the graveyard.
Loki rose up from the graveyard, readying on the field.
Dragon Archiver, Loki, attack position.
Then I summon 2 for 1 team. Yuma called, summoning 2 men on the field. Attack position. 2 for 1 team. Light. Level 2. Warrior/effect. ATK, 1200. Def, 1200.
Once per turn, you can make both players show 1 card from their hands, and if both the shown cards are the same type of card, apply one of these effects, depending on the type.
Monster, each player can special summon their monster. Spell, each player draws 2 cards. Trap, each player sends exactly 2 cards from their deck to their GY.
Now we both show a card in our hands, and if we show the same type of card, we can do an effect.
Yuma holds his chosen card.
Monster card allows us to summon that monster, spells allow us to draw 2 cards, and trap cards has us send 2 cards from our decks to the graveyard. The shadow giant revealed a monster.
Okay, I reveal mine. Yuma shows a monster card himself, Magical Undertaker. As we have the same type of card, we summon them. They both summoned the cards onto the field. Attack position. Magical Undertaker. Dark. Level 2. Spellcaster effect, flip. ATK, 400. Def, 400.
Flip, you can target 1 level 4 or lower spellcaster monster in your GY, special summon that target.
Attack position. Blast Sphere. Dark. Level 4. Machine/effect. ATK, 1300. Def, 1400.
If this face-down defense position card was attacked by an opponent's monster, before damage calculation, equip this card to the attacking monster. Then, during your opponent's next standby phase, destroy the monster this card is equipped to, and if you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the ATK the destroyed monster had on the field. And lastly, as I just summoned a monster, Loki's level goes down by 1.
To Loki shrunk a little from this. Dragon Archiver, to Loki, LV, 3-1 is equal to 2.
Now, call forth my doppelganger and you two will win this duel. Number 96 smirked.
Yuma grunted before he raised an arm.
Alright, I overlay to Loki, 2 for 1 team, and Magical Undertaker. The three glowed, flying up towards the overlay network.
Show yourself, my doppelganger. XYZ summon. Number 96. The messenger from pitch black darkness, dark mist. A black blob appeared before it formed into dark mist's monster form, readying onto the field. Attack position. Number 96, dark mist. Dark. Rank 2. Fiend effect XYZ. ATK 100. Def 1000. 3 level 2 monsters. Cannot be destroyed by battle except with number monsters.
Once per battle, when an attack is declared involving this card and an opponent's monster, quick effect, you can detach 1 material from this card. Have the ATK of the opponent's monster, and if you do, this card gains that same amount of ATK. Oru, 3. Never thought I'd be glad to see it. Timmy had heard that Yuma had used it in the World Duel Carnival against Vetrix, and thought that'd be the last time they needed it.
That monster looks creepy, Rio admitted, shivering a bit. And I activate Wonder Clover. Yuma activates a card. Wonder Clover. Normal spell card. Select 1 face-up monster you control and send 1 level 4 plant-type monster from your hand to the graveyard. During this turn, the selected monster can attack twice, but other monsters you control cannot declare an attack.
By sending Popcorn from my hand to the graveyard, and not allowing Dark Rebellion or Utopia to attack this turn, Dark Mist can attack 2 times this turn.
Yuma explained the card's effect. Good, now finish them off.
Number 96 smirked.
Now Dark Mist attack. Dark Mist readied over. I activate my doppelganger's special ability. By using an overlay unit, Dark Mist steals half your monster's attack points. Shadow gain. Taking a unit, Dark Mist absorbed some mist from Unformed Void. Dark Mist, ATK, 100 plus 5000 equals 5100/ORU, 3-2. Unformed Void, ATK, 10,000 divided by 2 is equal to 5,000. The attack from Dark Mist struck all over Unformed Void, destroying it, which the Shadow Giants stepped back. Shadow Giants, 5300/hands, Shadow Giant, a 0/Shadow Giant, B1, and now to finish you. Attack their weak monster. Shadow gain. Dark Mist once again absorbed some power from Blast Sphere. Dark Mist, ATK, 5100 plus 700 equals 5800/ORU, 2-1. Unformed Void, ATK, 1400 divided by 2 is equal to 700. Whiplash Whirlwind. At that, Dark Mist attacked again, striking all over Blast Sphere, destroying it as the Shadow Giants were blown away from the attack. Shadow Giants, 0200/hands, Shadow Giant, a 0/Shadow Giant, B1. And lastly, I use Archiving Detonation's effect in the graveyard. When a monster in battle is destroyed by a monster that has a Dragon Archiver as material, we both take 1000 points of damage. Timmy banished a trap as a blast detonated onto them, ending the duel with the Shadow Giant's destruction. Yuma and Timmy, 1000. Hands, both, 0. Field, number 39, Utopia, attack position, Dark Rebellion XYZ Dragon, attack position /ATK, 5000, number 96, Dark Mist, attack position /ORU, 1/ATK, 5800. Shadow Giants, 0000. Hands, Shadow Giant, a 0/Shadow Giant, B1. Field, nothing. Yuma and Timmy wins. Just then all 6 of them suddenly were in front of the gate like before. Yuma widened his eyes in shock, seeing it before it called. You both had been proven worthy Astral and Barian Savior, now you can access your mission further. The gate vanished as they are going through some sort of pathway together. Barian Savior? Yuma questioned, turning to Timmy in shock. Long story, he answered, looking at the gate. They moved before they all ended up somewhere. They are in inverted colors before noticing something. Some type of card, a card that seemed to split apart and reconfigure itself as it spin around. Timmy recognizes this card. Is that the Numeran code? It is indeed.
Astral spoke as he floated over towards it.
Not the real thing, of course, just a visual representative of it.
He then turned towards the humans, and number 96, now I know what my mission is.
What has been eluding me the whole time? Your mission, what mission? Rio asked him.
The numbers hold the secret of finding the location of the Numeran code.
And my mission is to get it before the Baryons can. Astral spoke. The Numeran code is something that can reshape our universe. Our entire universe was created from it. Every answer you seek, it has. Then he looked towards Timmy. Although I don't understand what Timothy has anything to do with it. The Baryan savior. What does this mean? Timmy gulped before looking at him and Yuma.
Sorry, I think it'd be better if we discuss this with everyone else.
I rather not repeat this to multiple people at once.
You can do what you want, they looked at number 96 who smirked over.
You freed me, and I carried out my end of the deal. So we have no reason to stay together anymore. Of course, Astral, remember that there will come a time again where you need my darkness. With that he left by vanishing into darkness. I have a feeling that was a mistake.
Anna admitted seeing him fly off as Timmy frowned nervously.
Let's go ourselves.
Astral spoke as they all glowed, leaving the key. The Arclights, Tenjos, Kazukis, Penelo and Shark were discussing over lots of things before the portal suddenly reactivated by itself.
What? Michael asked, seeing that.
Just then Timmy, Anna, and Rio all exited the portal as they looked around.
Guys. Alan smiled as they ran over towards them. You're back. How did the trip go? Mr. Kazuki asked, smiling. Was he able to pay his respects?
Mrs. Kazuki smiled warmly herself.
Yeah, but we need to meet up with everyone, it's kind of important. Rio answered. Why, what's going on? Hart raised an eyebrow.
Penelo felt something and notices Timmy's locket. It had the crystal that had astral and Baryan energy within it.
Timmy seeing that holds the locket before looking at Penelo. Penelo, let's say, you're not the only one who has this kind of energy.
Despite the confusion, they all agreed to gather together. Everyone had headed up into the Tenjo house for all of them to talk. Even Carrie, Haru, and Lilybot were brought to talk as well for them to discuss this. They first talked about Yuma and Timmy's match, and the test where they find out Astral's original mission of finding the Numeran code, and having to obtain it before the Baryons do.
And now it was Timmy's turn. Well, where to start? Timmy asked, trying to find the starting place. After we arrived, I wanted to see Grandma's house.
It was destroyed, and a bank by my real parents was built in its place.
They probably want to erase any memory of her left.
That's sick.
Yuma frowned.
We went to the cemetery, and we found her gravestone.
I was so happy seeing it, I couldn't help breaking down.
Thanking her for everything she had done for me. Timmy admitted recalling what had happened with Rio, and Anna's hearts aching when they recalled that image themselves. They walked over and embraced him again.
Timmy smiled, hugging them back, and then continued to explain.
Then, her lawyer, Mr. Sanchez, seen me. He told me that Grandma had left me one last thing outside of the funeral.
Something that my parents probably don't know about. What was it? Bronk asked him. A family heirloom of some kind?
This crystal.
Timmy lifts his locket to show them.
A crystal that has the power of Astral World and Baryan World within it.
What?
Astral widened his eyes, shocked. He had never heard about this, and there was something within not only from his world, but Baryan as well within Timmy's home world?
How did she came in possession of it? It's impossible for her to. Well, not as impossible as you think. Timmy admitted to them. The truth is that
Grandma, she was also a resident of Astral World.
Your grandma was from Astral World. Tori cried in shock.
One of the last few who held the power of chaos before they expelled it.
Timmy confirmed, nodding.
Barian world was formed from the chaos energy that they expelled from their world, and she was one of the few that didn't expel that energy from her.
So, she had to leave, but how did she end up in your world and not ours? Kathy asked.
Before we get to that, she had told us something.
The name of an enemy who is probably the master of the Barians. Timmy told them before saying the name. Don Thousand. Several reactions to the name were shown with Penelo, Ray, and Astral himself. Ray raised his eyes a bit before quickly schooling his expression.
Penelo trembled and Astral frowned. The name sounded familiar, but
he didn't remember. Perhaps it would be revealed if he found more numbers?
She told us that he was banished from Astral World after they expelled the chaos energy within them. She told us that he had long desired the Numeran code to rule all the realms, and even destroy Astral World.
Timmy continued explaining.
She had said he had been defeated before by something called the original number, but she knew that one day he will return.
The original. Astral? Yuma asked, turning to him. Astral gives thought before he nodded over. Yes, I am the original number.
All of the numbers are a part of my memories, so there is little doubt that I am the original number. And yes, Don Thousand is a familiar name, although I have yet to access my memories about him. Well, whoever it is, we should make sure he doesn't get this Numeran code.
Shark pointed out.
Well, she had traveled to my home world to be ready when Don Thousand returns.
Timmy continued on his story.
But she waited too long, that she is getting too old to fight, and had harnessed her remaining power into the crystal on my locket.
He shows the crystal again after saying that.
She told me she knew I was important when I was born, and said that I am the key to saving both Astral World and Barian World from Don Thousand, and help Astral keep the Numeran code safe from him. I doubt it'll be that easy. The Barians clearly want to wipe out Astral World, and they don't seem to be the type to just talk things out.
Bronk frowned.
Well, I think we need to somehow tell them that Astral World needs their help.
Timmy closed his eyes.
He looked over as he explained.
Grandma said that without the power of chaos, Astral World is dying.
If we can somehow convince the Barians to help us, we can help Astral World from self-extinction.
That will not be easy.
Both Astral and Penelo don't need to worry about this drawback, as Astral has chaos energy already from the chaos numbers, and recently Utopia Ravi of Penelo is half Barian herself, so she's fine.
Astral then continued to speak.
The Barians are intent on taking the numbers from me so they can access the Numeran code.
Trying to ask for their aid will almost be impossible as long as they are fighting us. Well, what do we do now? Rio asked him. Astral cups his chin.
It'd be difficult, but we can try to have the Barians see reason.
We have to try. Timmy nodded to confirm.
He then looked at his locket, staring at the crystal. He wasn't really sure of being a savior, but he hopes he can help them all from destruction and stop Don Thousand.
Chapter 38, Love Rivalry. It was a few days after Timmy learned his grandmother was from Astral World.
And during that time, Yuma had been given a badge by Ray, who had explained headquarters of the Barian Cosmic Crime Unit wanted to acknowledge his achievements, but before speaking about Kite he was hit by a soccer ball. Around that Orbital 7 was flying for something until something popped up that made him drop to a fountain, and seen a small clip of a romance film while he was getting out. It sparked something within him, unable to figure out this feeling, and seeing couples around the city before Lilybot holding a bag accidentally bumped into him. When he sees her, he first called her a junk bucket out of frustration, but then froze when he takes a good look at her. In his eyes she looked like the most beautiful thing he had ever seen. It gave him the same feeling that he had before, but before he went to talk to her she just punched him out of the way before moving away. Orbital was visibly distressed from it, and while back at work he couldn't help but imagine her, but tries to focus on his work failing. Kite came in with Timmy, and Hart, where the older of them, asked him about the progress of the Barians. Receiving no answer, Kite sharply called his name, catching his attention, and when he asked again, Orbital responded, "They're making people fall in love," before he paused at the ridiculousness of it, trying to correct himself only for Kite to order him to get back to work. Timmy and Hart were surprised from what Orbital said, but they smiled to each other knowing Orbital has a crush on someone. Back at the site where he seen Lilybot, he found the clip again, and realized he was in love with Lilybot, and decided to try to find her, and confess his love for her only for them to bump into her again, and found a letter she dropped mistaking it as a letter to save her, and followed her to Yuma's house imagining that Yuma is treating her like a slave, and abuses her when she does something he doesn't approve of. He swore to rescue Lilybot from Yuma, and left, but Lilybot had interpreted the letter as a shopping list of letters for short names of what Haru needed her to get. Orbital decides to try challenging Yuma to let Lilybot go, but when Timmy came him asking him who he has feelings for, Orbital confessed to him it was Lilybot, which Timmy was surprised at before he nodded since it makes sense. He shares that he had dueled Lilybot, and she was a powerful player coming close to defeating him when she outdueled Yuma and Bronk several times, which Orbital looked surprised having thought Yuma was a terrible owner to Lilybot. Timmy told Orbital to let his feelings to Lilybot shine through, and tell her how he really feels. Either way, the next day, Orbital went to Yuma's school and challenged him with the stake of letting him get to know Lilybot if he wins. He was surprised by this, but Yuma didn't find a reason to decline, so he, Ray, Tori, and Lilybot headed over while Timmy, Hart, Kite, and Penelo were with Orbital to witness this match. Orbital was shown to be a skilled duelist with his super defense robot deck, and while Yuma didn't use Utopia, he had eventually take the advantage away from Orbital, and won. If he hadn't been told before, Orbital would have used a satellite cannon to blow Yuma up, but Timmy's talk with him prior had him not take things too far. Tori then properly introduces the two to each other, and the two hit it off quite well. Kite had asked Dextra for a date after seeing this, which she accepted from where she was busy in Spartan City as Nistro's manager after the whole situation with the Barian sphere field. Now it was the day of that where Yuma is now running late for school, and was running. Astral, why didn't you wake me up before? My apologies, Yuma, but there has been quite a lot on my mind. I cannot serve as your backup alarm clock. Astral pointed out to him. Well, you should have told me, I'd be late. Hey Yuma, said Boy, turned where Bronk was skateboarding beside him with a grin. Get ready to eat my dust like the other times. He sped past Yuma, who complained about him having an advantage before Bronk notices a family, and ducks, which he quickly stopped but gotten hurt by falling off. Rio, who had been nearby and witnessed this, looked over and walked over while Bronk groaned, looking at his arm, which has a scrape on it from falling off. That looked painful. Are you alright, Bronk? She asked, walking over to him as she noticed the scrape. Let me take a look at that. She started to bandage up his scrape so it wouldn't get infected. During this, Bronk couldn't help but felt his heart skip a beat. Ever since Rio came in, he had these feelings towards her. He had somewhat assumed that Timmy is close to her, but this is the first time he had felt something like this around another girl. And now she is treating his arm from the scrape. He first thought she was like Shark in terms of personality, but is more gentler and kinder than her brother. Oh man, are you okay, Bronk? Yuma asked, running up to them. Ha! Snapped out of his daze, he sees Yuma is nearby, concerned for his best friend. Flashing a smile towards his location, Bronk needed to respond. Yeah, I'm alright. Thanks to Rio. That's good. Rio smiled warmly. Be more careful next time. Yeah, thanks. Bronk spoke as Rio walked off to head to school herself. He stares over in love. Touched by this kindness, Bronk knows what he must do. He needs to find a way to have Rio be his girl, even if it means beating Shark. So he need to figure out a plan to do so. Yuma, I'm not sure I like the look in his eyes. Astral admitted to Yuma, seeing the look in his eyes. Yeah, neither do I. Yuma frowned. He can pretty much guess what his best friend is thinking of, and if he's right, there would be trouble. Brother trouble, to be exact. Bronk, whatever you're thinking, you should stop thinking it. Hearing this, knowing he's making himself look weird, Bronk shook his head before turning to Yuma. Hey, Yuma, come on. The race is still on. He readied and sped off on his skateboard to not let Yuma win the track to school. Ha, hey Bronk! Yuma cried, running after him. So they continued their normal shenanigans for now, but later on things will be challenging. Challenging by what will happen in the next few hours. Later in class, Ray, Bronk, Tori, Flip, Kathy, and Caswell were in classroom during their lunch break.
Yuma is finding himself something to eat when Bronk pulled them in for a talk.
Rio and Shark went together to have lunch themselves, so they are all alone from what Bronk wants to talk with them about. They are confused why he pulled them in for a chat together.
Huh, what's going on, Bronk? Tori asked him. Is something wrong? Just need to talk about something. Look at this. Bronk takes out a handkerchief for them to see.
This is Rio's. When I fell off my skateboard earlier, she had used this to help me out. He had quickly made it to school so his scrape can get properly bandaged, as can tell by the bandages on his arm. He didn't want a thoughtful gift such as this to be dirty.
So, do you all have any advice to help me out? On what? How Rio can be with me? That question made them all blink.
They weren't aware at first that Bronk had the hots for Rio, but can sorta recall that he looked annoyed that Rio was moved out of his time back at the friendship games, mostly cause he had gotten Ray as a partner instead of her, which is one reason why, but now they know he truly has feelings for Rio. They'd be willing to help him with this.
Except, well, Bronk, Rio's with Timmy. Kathy pointed out. I know, but
I want a chance to be with her. This is the first time I ever felt like this, and I want to show her how I feel for her. Bronk spoke over. He does know that Timmy is with her, which he real jealous of. He is envious that Timmy can not only have 2 girlfriends but also have one as amazing as Rio.
It really makes him angry when he thinks about it.
Besides, he already has Anna, so he doesn't Rio with him as well. Of course, there are several factors onto this. Other side that Rio is Shark's brother, or that she won't be interested with him, he's still willing to take a chance with this if it meant he can be close with her.
And, what about Rio's opinion on this? Caswell asked him. Actually, maybe if he wins Shark's respect, maybe he may have a chance?
Flip suddenly brought up while they were chatting about this.
Yeah, like, in a duel?
Ray also brought a suggestion onto this, how Bronk's chances of having Rio can be increased if Bronk earns Shark's respect. Bronk is always visualizing it defeating Shark, where he spoke that he has earned the right to be with Rio, and is picturing their wedding as well. He knows that Shark defeated him easily in the past before Timmy came in, and does lot of stuff. Which is why he had been training and practicing to not be the same guy he was before, in case the chance of a number finds its way towards him. Yeah, maybe if he does this, then he can be with Rio. He gets up while paying no mind to the girls arguing with Flip and Ray about their suggestions, which made them stop turning. Okay. With a grin he turned, walking out, intending to find Shark.
Hey, wait a second, Bronk. Tori frowned seeing him walking off. He's a goner. Caswell trailed of, knowing they sent him down a grave by a brother. Hope he can forgive them in the afterlife.
In another part of the school, Shark waved to Rio that he will see her after school before he walked to find his classroom. He had his feeling lately, ever since Timmy had explained about the Numeran code, Don 1000, how Barian world was formed from the chaos energy that Astral world abandoned, and the names of the 2 Barians that went missing. He is suspicious that something isn't right. Like, he is familiar with all of it, although he still has human memories, so he wonders what exactly this is about. He doesn't want to drag Rio into it, so sometime soon, he needs to investigate about this. Something stepped in front of him, which he stopped walking, looking over. Seeing it was Bronk, looked determined over.
Raising an eyebrow, Shark crossed his arms. What do you want, Bronk?
I'm here to challenge you to a duel, Shark, and it won't go like last time.
Bronk told him confidently. A duel? Shark looked serious about this. A duel challenge here? Between them? What exactly is Bronk trying to get from this here? Give me a reason why I should. If you remember last time, I crushed you without any effort. That was the past, I'm a lot better now. Bronk pointed out. I'd win this time, and then one idea you would talk with your sister Rio about. He blushed and looked to the side. Shark blinked from this. So that's why? About Rio? Doesn't he know Rio is already taken? Brain dead idiot.
With a scoff, Shark turned around, crossing his arms.
Don't bother, Bronk.
This is not worth our time. Bronk looked over towards him, surprised, while Caswell, and Flip are nearby being out of sight as they paid attention.
You should already know that Rio is already taken. She is with Timmy, so she wouldn't be interested onto you. But if I beat you, then you can dash. It's not me you should please, it's Rio.
Shark spoke over with a glare that intimidated him somewhat.
Besides, even if I do, it's not my business to get into her love life.
You should give up, she has Timmy with her already. He turned around and walked off, but not before saying one last thing.
You're not as good as him.
Those words triggered a fire within Bronk. Although he knows that Timmy had been taking good care of Rio, his jealousy for him is always there.
And now Shark refused to assist Dash. Well, no more. If people don't think he's good enough, they will have another thing coming.
By proving he is good enough, by taking on his most difficult challenge to date.
Meanwhile, Timmy was spending some time with Hart only to suddenly shudder. What's wrong, Timmy?
Hart blinked from taking his turn on a board game. He suddenly noticed that Timmy had shuddered and looked worried for him.
Are you sick? No, I just had a feeling someone is angry at me for some reason,
Timmy admitted before pausing and looking at the board.
Oh man, you sent me back to start again. Hart chuckled as they continued on their board game together.
You did what? That was Tori's yell when Caswell and Flip had came back to the classroom to inform them that Flip posted something on Flip's blog site. After overhearing Shark and Bronk's conversation, Flip had made a post and published it on his blog site to have everyone in the school know, where it looked like Bronk is out for revenge against Timmy for being overruled by Shark as Rio's bachelor, and will challenge the kid himself.
What? It's true, he even went after Shark first.
But Shark said if he wanted any chance he had to beat Timmy. It's a battle for the right for Rio's hand.
Flip grinned. But that's not right.
Both Rio and Timmy are right for each other, and we shouldn't get in between them.
Kathy also expressed disbelief over this.
They know they are feeding fire to the flames from this post, and things will be ugly coming soon. Not to mention, with the kind of duelist Timmy is, taking on someone like Bronk would be child's play.
I don't know, I mean, Bronk is really serious, so perhaps he might have? That's not the point, Ray.
Tori snapped towards the orange-haired boy who raised his hands in surrender.
Suddenly Yuma came in sighing from a meal down, which Tori notices, and walked over. Yuma. Huh, what is it, Tori? Yuma asked her curiously. You got to tell Bronk to stop this. Huh, stop what? At Yuma's question, Tori takes out her dual disk and pulls up the blog article, showing it to Yuma. Yuma curiously reads over while Astral, who just manifested, reads over it himself. Bronk is challenging Timothy for Rio?
Astral questioned. He knew that this is what Bronk had in mind, and as expecting, this is getting ugly.
Does that include Anna as well? What? Bronk is dueling Tim? Yes, Yuma. You need to tell Bronk, Dash. Yeah, this is gonna be sweet. Tori slumped over while everyone else blinked surprised, while Yuma grinned. Bronk never lost to me, so him against Tim, who's a great duelist? I need to find the best seat to that.
He is rather more interested in the duel rather than the stakes, and reasoning is Bronk, his best friend who had never been defeated by him, would duel Timmy, who was a tournament quality champion with all of the summon methods together. It makes his heart pump in excitement at the thought of it.
Yuma. Bronk needs to call it off. Tori snapped towards Yuma, who blinked confused.
He'll just be getting in between Rio and Timmy if he does this.
What? Yuma blinked, looking again as his eyes widened in shock.
Now he really sees the circumstances of this. Bronk had tried challenging Shark for Rio, but Shark turned him down with the blog explaining that he will only consider it if he's as good as Timmy was, which sparked Bronk's challenge for the young boy. Now he really sees the circumstances of this. Bronk had tried challenging Shark for Rio, but Shark turned him down with the blog explaining that he will only consider it if he's as good as Timmy was, which sparked Bronk's challenge for the young boy. Oh man, this is bad, someone needs to warn Timmy.
Yuma frowned. So they all exit over trying to find Bronk before things can escalate further. Back at the Tenjo residence, after that game of Sorry.
Timmy, Kite, Hart, Penelo, Dr. Faker alongside Orbital were discussing things together regarding the Barian threat alongside Orbital's time of trying to know Lilybot, and what to do when Timmy suddenly gets a message on his dual disk.
Ha! Timmy checked over seeing the message. Bronk, Timmy, I got something personal with you. Come to the school after school hours for us to duel. I'm not taking no for an answer, we are gonna duel for something I want. Something he wants. What does Timmy have that Bronk wants to have?
While he was thinking this, Orbital extended his head to see the message he has, and reads it over.
That doesn't make any sense. Kite frowned. What are you going to do? Timmy thinks it over.
Eventually he shrugged over this. Well, I don't see any reason why I should say no. So, I'll accept his challenge, and see what it is.
He then stands over looking over to them. Are you coming to see as well?
I'll be busy here so I can't.
So much to do since Mr. Heartland is gone.
Dr. Faker shook his head, way too busy to head with them.
He then looked to his other sons, Penelo and Orbital. Are you all able to go as well? Why not? It might be a good distraction.
Kite shrugged.
If Master Kite is going, then so am I.
Orbital replied.
I'll go. Hart agreed.
It might help me learn a few more things to watch a duel in person again.
I think I'll stay here. Penelo admitted hesitantly. Are you sure, Penelo?
Hart asked to her if she's sure about her decision.
She nodded before frowning. I want to talk with your dad about something anyway. Hart nodded.
After they waved and left, now Dr. Faker is alone with Penelo.
Said man turns toward Penelo, wondering what she needs to talk to him with. What is it you want to discuss with me, Penelo?
I'm scared. I think Timmy, Yuma, and Dad are in danger.
Penelo admitted, shaking a bit. He's going to hurt them, badly. This Don Thousand character that Timmy spoke about from his grandmother's letter?
Dr. Faker can guess who she means by that, since they haven't seen Don Thousand yet, and if he's out for the Numeran code, then things will happen to get what he wants.
No, not him, it's
Ray, she shivered, looking down nervously.
I think he's one of them. Ray?
Dr. Faker blinked about the boy that was with them. He was clumsy but well-meaning and friendly.
But Penelo is thinking he's a Barian?
Then again, Yuma had used a spell that used Barian energy, and he was somewhat feeling something from him when he noticed him. He can't quite place it though, he never met Ray before that.
You think he's a Barian? Penelo nodded. I was captured by the Barian emperors before.
She shivered remembering that, but she had to tell someone, and Dr. Faker was someone she trusted, and Ray wasn't around often enough to figure out he knew. One of them was the most terrible of all, and Ray feels just like him. He wanted to torture me all the time just for fun, the others didn't let him, but he's really scary.
Vector.
The same Barian who gave me and Byron the power.
Dr. Faker trailed off, remembering him.
He had possessed him during his duel with Timmy, and thanks to him, he had been defeated. And what Penelo spoke about him, he is the most malevolent out of all of the Barian emperors, being really cruel and sadistic, thinking everything is a game while enjoying the suffering of others.
You think he and Ray have some sort of connection? But then, why would Ray be fighting them with us? That'd be a good question. Why, if Ray really is a Barian, why is he fighting them with Yuma and the others? Penelo frowned.
I don't know, but I'm scared. He feels just like Vector.
Dr. Faker cupped his chin.
If what Penelo is saying is true, then this could be a ploy by the Barians to gain an advantage over Yuma and Timmy.
Although from Yuma using the spell from Barian world probably supplied by Ray, that might not seem to be the case.
Not to mention both Alito and Jirag were unfamiliar with Ray, so it wouldn't make sense why they'd be hostile towards him if they already knew each other.
Well, unfortunately, we are unsure about him. Dr.
Faker spoke to Penelo before turning to her. For now, we're gonna need to keep an eye on Ray. We don't have anything solid against him right now.
Penelo looked hesitant but nodded. Okay.
But make no mistake, me and Byron will make sure if he so much as slips we will be aware. Dr. Faker promised her that if anything gives Ray away as an agent they will know about it, and expose him the moment it happens. Penelope nodded at that. Meanwhile at the school. Bronk was at the outside dueling field of the school. He didn't care for the viral post that is happening right now, all that matters is for Timmy to pay for taking Rio away, and claim her to himself. So now after sending that message, and getting a response, he is waiting for Timmy. He knows this is dangerous as Timmy is one of the best duelists he had known. But he is ready. Ever since the numbers happen, he had been making sure his deck is always at its best against threats even if he finds a number himself. So with the deck the way it is, Timmy won't know what hit him. Bronk, a voice spoke behind him which when he turned sees the three Tenjo brothers, and Orbital had arrived. Why did you challenge Timmy to a duel? Hart asked curiously. Like I spoke, I want something from him. And here in this duel we will battle for it. Bronk spoke clenching his hand. Then he pointed over to Timmy. So then Timmy, right here and now, we will duel for it. I hope you're ready. Okay then Bronk. I accept your challenge. Timmy spoke as he readied over. He turned to his brothers and Orbital. Walk to the side please. I hate for you guys to be caught in the crossfire. Kite, Hart, and Orbital walked over just as Yuma and the others ran up to see Bronk and Timmy activate their dual discs and dual gazers. Ah, we're too late. Yuma spoke seeing this. Dual disc ready. And dual gazer let's go. Timmy spoke over as their dual gazers glowed. Augmented reality vision link established. Let's duel. Dueling theme, a shadow behind Bicenical. Timmy, 4000. Hand, 5. Field, nothing. Bronk, 4000. Hand, 5. Field, nothing. Let the duel commence. Timmy first turn. Since you challenged me, I'm first. Timmy spoke checking his hand. He doesn't know what Bronk can do for now, so he'll test the waters. I first summon Dragon Archiver Astuzel from my hand. Astuzel appeared on the field ready for what its duelist is facing now. Attack position. Dragon Archiver Astuzel. Dark. Level 4. Pendulum scale, 6. Dragon effect pendulum. ATK, 1400. Def, 1100. Pendulum effect, Dragon Archiver monsters on the field gain 300 ATK. Once per turn, if your opponent controls a Dragon Archiver monster, you can destroy one spell/trap they control. Monster effect, during the end phase, banish one card from your opponent's GY. If this card is used as material or tribute for a summon of a dragon monster, you can target one level 4 or higher monster your opponent controls, negate its effects. You can only activate this effect of Dragon Archiver Astuzel once per turn. Then I place 2 face downs to end this turn for now. Timmy ended his turn nice, and easy for now to see what Bronk can do before he can really let loose. Timmy's hand, 2/field, Dragon Archiver Astuzel, attack position, 2 set cards. Bronk first turn. My turn now. Bronk drew checking over his hand. With the way his deck is, he is sure he can prove he is as good as Timmy was, and then can have Rio with Shark's approval. Alright Timmy, I'll start off with a spell that might slow you down. Clockwork Knight. Bronk called playing the spell. Face up. Clockwork Knight. Continuous spell card. All face-up monsters on the field become machine monsters. Machine monsters you control gain 500 ATK/def. Also machine monsters your opponent controls lose 500 ATK/def. You can banish this card from your GY, then discard one card, add one Earth Machine monster from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect of Clockwork Knight once per turn. You can only activate one Clockwork Knight per turn. This spell turns every monster on the field into a machine, and mine get 500 attack and defense points stronger while yours get 500 attack and defense points weaker. So, why did Bronk challenge Timmy? Kite asked Yuma and the others. He has feelings for Rio, And he thinks if he wins this duel Timmy will break up with her since he's dating Anna and Rio.
Caswell explained. Astuzal turned into a metallic version of itself.
Astuzal, ATK, 1400, 500 equals 900/def, 1100, 500 equals 600/type, machine.
Nesbit's card, huh?
Timmy of course is familiar with the card. Not only does it disrupt some strategies that require a specific monster type, it also gain an advantage over him. He better be careful cause who knows what Bronk can do here.
Then I summon Gargiano MK2.
Raising up on the field was a monster shaping as some gear cogs that's yellow, and blue inside with comical eyes on it. He also has spring arms with gloves on them on the field.
Attack position. Gargiano MK2.
Earth.
Level 3.
Machine/effect.
ATK, 1000. Def, 500.
When this card is normal or flip summoned, you can special summon one Geargia monster from your hand or graveyard in defense position.
A Geargia deck, huh?
Timmy knows of the Geargias, they are most common as machine support or something like that, so he never seen a pure one.
This will be interesting. So that's his strategy, not bad, but it's going to take more to beat Timmy. Kite noted thoughtfully.
As MK2 is summoned, its special ability lets me summon another Geargia from my hand.
Bronx takes a card placing it down. Joining this is the improved gear, Gargiano MK3.
Another gear monster looking identical to MK2 appeared, only this one's gears are blue instead of yellow.
Defense position. Gargiano MK3.
Earth.
Level 3.
Machine/effect.
ATK, 1000. Def, 1000.
When this card is special summoned by the effect of a Geargia card, you can special summon one Geargia monster from your hand or graveyard in defense position, except Gargiano MK3, but its effects are negated. You can only use this effect of Gargiano MK3 once per turn. You cannot special summon monsters the turn you activate this effect, except Geargia monsters. And as this card is summoned by a Geargia, I can summon another Geargia from my hand as long as it negates its special abilities.
3 monsters in one turn. Timmy spoke with a smile hearing that.
Well, what do you know, he has improved a little, mentioned a voice as they saw Shark and Rio had arrived, only they looked annoyed.
Flip, after this duel you and I are having a conversation. Rio told him calmly though her glare was icy. WW what?
Flip wondered why she looked so annoyed, and towards him of all people.
So now I summon the original. Gargiano. Another gear monster appeared, this one having silver gears than other two. Defense position. Effects negated. Gargiano. Earth. Level 3.
Machine/effect.
ATK, 500. Def, 1000.
You contribute this card, then target one level 4 machine-type monster in your graveyard, special summon it, but its effects are negated.
Gargiano, MK2, and MK3? Is that his entire deck? Flip questioned.
He is seeing triple of the same monster, and frankly he is wondering if the same monster of different versions are his deck.
How many of those things are there? Is there an MK4, MKV? Now I overlay all 3 Geargianos. In order to build the overlay network. The 3 glowed brown, flying up towards the overlay network before it exploded, manifesting into a monster. Gear springs formed together to shape into the powerful machines, springing their gears to really grind. XYZ summon. Come on, Geargiager Gigant XG.
Manifesting was a giant-like monster onto the field. It has yellow and blue armor on with a bulky body of multiple cars together. It also has a large gun as a trash truck, and a giant silver gear as a shield.
Attack position. Geargiager Gigant XG. Earth. Rank 3. Machine effect XYZ. ATK, 2500. Def, 1300. 3 level 3 monsters.
During either player's battle step, while an attack involving your machine-type monster is occurring, you can detach one XYZ material from this card, negate the effects of all face-up cards your opponent currently controls. Also, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects.
These effects last until the end of the damage step.
When this face-up card leaves the field, you can target one other Georgia card in your graveyard, add that target to your hand.
Oru, 3. 2,500 points? Yuma asked in shock. Bronk's not holding anything back with that thing. Not 2,500 Yuma.
With his spell, Clockwork Knight, it gains 500 more.
Like Astral said, Bronk's spell further powered up his XYZ monster.
Geargiager Gigant XG, ATK, 2500 plus 500 equals 3000/def, 1300 plus 500 is equal to 1800.
Everyone looked shocked at the powerful monster Bronk played on his first move.
If he attacks, he'll wipe out half of Timmy's life points on his first turn.
Caswell realized.
Timmy readied for this as Bronk sets a card. Okay, Gigant X attack Astuzal. Gigant X charged a cannon blast from its gun as Timmy readied to activate a card which his opponent called. At this moment, Gigant X's special ability activates. Gigant X takes a overlay unit in its shield which Timmy turned over. By using an overlay unit, when a Georgia is battling, all your cards are negated, and you can't activate cards during the battle. A purple aura formed around Timmy's set cards, and Astuzal looked visibly weakened.
Dragon Archiver Astuzal, effects negated. Georgiager Gigant XG, ORU, 3-2. And it negates cards?
Bronk, why didn't you use that when we're trying to get the numbers?
Yuma asked him in shock.
Seriously, if Bronk has a card as powerful as that, why didn't he use it against the numbers?
These are all recent Yuma. New additions. Bronk spoke before pointing ahead.
Alright, Gigant X, let him have it. Gigant X fired from its gun at command which blown apart Astuzal in one hit while crossed his arms in front of him to defend against the attack. Timmy, 1900/hand, 2, that'll teach me for going easy on the first turn. Okay, he learned his lesson now.
Bronk's gonna have his best from head on.
Bronk grinned from the attack.
How'd you like that?
Just a bit more, and he can earn Rio's hand. Bronk's hand, 2/field, Georgiager Gigant XG, attack position/ADK, 3000/def, 1800/ORU, 2, Clockwork Knight, face up, 1 set card.
Timmy, 1900. Hand, 2.
Field, 2 set cards.
Bronk, 4000. Hand, 2.
Field, Georgiager Gigant XG, attack position/ATK, 3000/def, 1800/ORU, 2, Clockwork Knight, face up.
1 set card. Timmy's second turn.
I actually like that quite a bit.
Timmy flashed a smile towards Bronk's direction.
Despite being at a disadvantage now, this is exciting him at facing a powerful opponent. You're not giving me any quarter, so it's only fair, I don't hold back either.
I draw.
With that said, Timmy drew before he takes a card from his hand.
And I use Dragon Scale Archiving.
Face up.
Dragon Scale Archiving. Continuous spell card.
When this card activates, place 2 Dragon Archiver monsters with different names from your deck in your pendulum zones.
For the rest of this turn after this effect resolves, you can only special summon once.
Once per turn, when a Dragon Archiver monster on the field activates its effect, the player that activated that monster's effect gains 1000 LP. You can only control 1 Dragon Scale Archiving. When this card activates, I take 2 Dragon Archivers from my deck different to each other, and place them in my pendulum zones.
The drawback is that for the rest of the turn, I can only special summon once. Timmy explained as he takes 2 cards.
And I set Scale 1 Dragon Archiver Roale, and Scale 8 Dragon Archiver Renotu. Roale and Renotu rose up in between Timmy and classic pendulum power.
Pendulum. Dragon Archiver Roale. Dark. Level 6. Pendulum Scale 1. Dragon Effect Pendulum. ATK 2000. Def 1200. Pendulum Effect, Dragon Archiver monsters on the field cannot be destroyed by card effects once per turn.
Once per turn, you can target one Dragon Archiver monster on the field. That target cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effect until your opponent's end phase. Monster effect: if your opponent summons a monsters, target one of those monsters, and one other monster you control, increase or decrease the second target's level by the first target monster's level. If this card is used as material or tribute for a summon of a dragon monster, you can target one spell/trap in your GY. Add that card to your hand. You can only activate this effect of Dragon Archiver Role A once per turn. Pendulum. Dragon Archiver Reno 2. Dark. Level 3. Pendulum Scale 8. Dragon Effect Pendulum. ATK 1400. Def 500. Pendulum Effect: Dragon Archiver monsters on the field cannot be targeted by your opponent's card effects. Once per turn, if a Dragon Archiver monster you control is targeted by an opponent's attack, you can target the attacking monster, negate the attack. Monster Effect: once per turn, if you take battle or effect damage, inflict the same amount of damage to your opponent. If this card is used as material or tribute for a summon of a dragon monster, you can make that summon monster gain 1000 ATK. You can only activate this effect of Dragon Archiver Reno 2 once per turn. That allows me to summon level 2 and 7 monsters all at once. Timmy spoke while Bronk hold his breath, knowing he's at the rear end of a pendulum summon right now, and braces himself for what he has now. Timmy's signature move, though with Bronk's XYZ monster his scales will be negated during battle. Astral pointed out. Yeah, but wouldn't matter if Timmy has defense. That monster can't deal piercing damage. Yuma spoke to him before they turned back to the duel. Dragon sorcerers built on the ancient archive. Grant us your boon on your wisdom. Pendulum summon. Come my monsters. The pendulum portal lit up as 3 lights shot down, forming into monsters. Dragon Archivers, Janie, Yggdrasil, and Astuzel. The 3 monsters, including the destroyed Astuzel, were formed in defense forms to try guarding against the giant monster. Defense position. Dragon Archiver, Janie. Wind. Level 3. Pendulum Scale, 10. Dragon Effect Pendulum. ATK 1400. Def 200. Pendulum Effect: Dragon Archiver monsters cannot be destroyed by battle. Dragon Archiver monsters your opponent controls lose 400 ATK. Monster Effect: if this card is targeted for an attack, target one card in either player's GYs, add that card to your hand, or banish that card. If this card is used as material or tribute for a summon of a dragon monster, you can draw one card. You can only activate each effect of Dragon Archiver Janie once per turn. Defense position. Dragon Archiver Yggdrasil. Wind. Level 4. Pendulum Scale, 7. Dragon Effect Pendulum. ATK 1500. Def 800. Pendulum Effect: Dragon Archiver monsters on the field gain 300 ATK. Once per turn, if your opponent activates the effect of a Dragon Archiver monster, you can change the effect to where it's as if you activated that effect instead. Monster Effect: at the start of your battle phase, target one monster you control. That monster gains 1000 ATK until the end of the battle phase. If this card is used as material or tribute for a summon of a dragon monster, you can special summon one level 4 or lower Dragon Archiver monster from your deck to either player's field in defense position. You can only activate this effect of Dragon Archiver Yggdrasil once per turn. Astuzel, ATK, 1400, 500 equals 900/def, 1100, 500 equals 600/type, machine. Jane, ATK, 1400, 500 equals 900/def, 200, 500 equals 0/type, machine. Yggdrasil, ATK, 1500, 500 equals 1000/def, 800, 500 equals 300/type, machine. Since that spell keeps him from special summoning more than one time, increasing his defenses is the best he can do for now. Kite spoke, seeing this, that Timmy needs to last a turn before he can do much of what he can do here. Shark frowned slightly, seeing that while Rio looked annoyed at the entire situation. At my end phase, Astuzel's mandatory ability activates. It banishes a card from your graveyard.
Bronk widened his eyes as the lone card in his graveyard Gargiano MK2 was removed from the graveyard. Timmy then looked towards Dragon Scale Archiving. Then as I used the effect of a Dragon Archiver on the field, I regain 1000 points.
He is healed somewhat from Gigant X's attack earlier before he turned back over.
I end my turn here, Bronk.
Timmy's hand, 0/field, Dragon Archiver Role, Pendulum, Dragon Archiver Renotu, Pendulum, Dragon Archiver Yggdrasil, Defense Position /ATK, 1000/Def, 300/Type, Machine, Dragon Archiver Janie, Defense Position /ATK, 900/Def, 0/Type, Machine, Dragon Archiver Astuzel, Defense Position /ATK, 900/Def, 600/Type, Machine, Dragon Scale Archiving, Face Up, 2 set cards.
Bronk's second turn. Okay then, don't think. Those extra points will help.
Bronk called drawing before he grins seeing his drawn card.
I activate Geargiogir. A trap showing of Gargiano, and its MK2 form popping out of a machine was flipped.
Geargiogir.
Normal trap card. Special summon 2 Gargiano monsters from your deck and increase their levels by 1. You can only activate 1 Geargiogir per turn.
I take 2 copies of any Gargiano from my deck, and not only summon them but also make them level 4.
Bronk takes 2 cards placing them which what rose was 2 copies of the original Gargiano. Gargiano, attack position /LV, 3+1 is equal to 4, x2. 2 level 4 monsters now?
Tori's eyes widened before she frowned.
Bronk, stop it, Rio isn't some prize to be won in a duel, she loves Timmy. Now I summon Iron.
Bronk continued on, only focused on this match as a robot kangaroo with symbols, and overalls appeared on the field as it smacked its symbols.
I Iron spoke over while clanging its symbols. Attack position. Iron. Earth. Level 4.
Machine /effect.
ATK, 1600. Def, 1400. Once per turn. You can have this card gain 400 ATK.
This card cannot attack the turn you activate this effect. And now with them, I overlay Iron, and my 2 Geargianos, the 3 glowed brown flying over towards the overlay network.
Timmy blinked seeing this. 2 XYZ summons with 3 monsters each?
He haven't seen anyone pull that off, as the more monsters you use the more challenging it becomes to summon stronger monsters.
Gear springs to change over for the benefit of grinding. In order to take control of the gears, it requires maintenance. XYZ summon. Come, Tin Archduke.
Raising beside Gigant X was a human-like robot having a blonde mustache and hair while wearing a red and hold Victorian-like Duke suit with a sword in his hand.
Attack position. Tin Archduke. Earth. Rank 4. Machine effect XYZ. ATK, 2200. Def, 1200. 3 level 4 monsters.
Once per turn, during either player's turn, you can detach 1 XYZ material from this card, then target 1 monster your opponent controls.
Change its battle position. Flip monsters' effects are not activated. Oru, 3. Oh, it's Bronk's ace now. That thing always tripped me up.
Yuma spoke, seeing it, recalling the many times it beat him while he and Bronk were growing up together.
What does that monster do, Yuma? Hart asked nervously. Timmy's okay, right?
Well. Tin Archduke switches monsters from defense position to attack position, and with Geargiogir Gigant XG's ability to stop Timmy from doing anything when he attacks, no, he's not okay.
Yuma answered.
He knows that Bronk is pretty good with Tin Archduke, and it combined with Gigant's own abilities will make this harder than before. Tin Archduke, ATK, 2200 plus 500 equals 2700 /def, 1200 plus 500 is equal to 1700. Now Tin Archduke, I use your special ability. Tin Archduke attempts to take an overlay unit to use its ability as it aimed its sights at Astuzel. So now your monster's going right back to attack position.
Just then Bronk notices something wrong. Tin Archduke isn't taking an overlay unit, which confuses him. Hey, what the?
Sorry Bronk, he blinked while Timmy grinned over towards him. But the pendulum effect of Renota prevents you from targeting Dragon Archivers on the field with your card effects. Clever, so Bronk's combo won't work.
Shark noted calmly. Bronk frowned over. Okay, I can't use it, but I can do this. Gigantex, attack Dragon Archiver, Astuzel.
Gigantex readied another blast towards Astuzel, who readied itself before Bronk called.
Now Gigantex, use your special ability, and shut his field down again. Gigantex takes another unit as Timmy's field grade. Dragon Archiver, Roale, effects negated. Dragon Archiver, Renotu, effects negated. Dragon Archiver, Yggdrasil, effects negated. Dragon Archiver, Janie, effects negated. Dragon Archiver, Astuzel, effects negated. Dragon Scale Archiving, effects negated.
Bronk then grinned.
Now I activate Tin Archduke's ability. This time Tin Archduke takes an overlay unit. I can't do it when Renota has her ability, but when it's negated during battle. So raise up Astuzel.
Astuzel grunted as Tin Archduke's ability forced him to stand up.
Tin Archduke, ORU, 3-2. Astuzel, attack position. But Bronk had a counter. Rio frowned. Attack Gigantex.
Gigantex fired another blast that enveloped Astuzel like before while Timmy raised an arm from the attack.
Timmy, 0800/hand, 0.
If Timmy hadn't gained points earlier from Dragon Scale Archiving's effect, he would have lost. Astral spoke over seeing this, impressed with Bronk's tactics that allows him to overwhelm his opponents and keep them from making a strong attack.
Who knew Bronk had something like this hiding? Now Tin Archduke attacked Janie.
Tin Archduke himself charges in at Janie, who readied herself with a grunt. This time Bronk didn't use Gigantex's ability, but Timmy didn't use his face down as the conditions aren't met with what he had for the beginning.
But he has something else. I got this. Renotu's other pendulum ability. Bronk blinked over, a barrier appeared. When a Dragon Archiver is attacked, I can negate the attack.
The barrier blocked Tin Archduke's sword, keeping Janie on the field from being destroyed.
That was way too close. Torai sighed.
That was way too close for comfort.
Rio's comfort. Timmy, you need to win this duel. Okay then, you last that.
Bronk shrugged as he sets a card.
But I still have more up my sleeve.
Bronk's hand, 1/field, Dirgiager Giganxg, attack position /ATK, 3000/def, 1800/ORU, 1, Tin Archduke, attack position /ATK, 2700/def, 1700, Clockwork Knight, face up, 1 set card.
Timmy, 0800. Hand, 0.
Field, Dragon Archiver, Role, Pendulum, Dragon Archiver, Renotu, Pendulum, Dragon Archiver, Yggdrasil, defense position /ATK, 1000/def, 300/type.
Machine, Dragon Scale Archiving, face up, 2 set cards. Bronk, 4000. Hand, 2.
Field, Dirgiager Giganxg, attack position /ATK, 3000/def, 1800/ORU, 1, Tin Archduke, attack position /ATK, 2700/def, 1700/ORU, 2, Clockwork Knight, face up, 1 set card.
Timmy's second turn. After all I've seen so far? I was hoping you have more. Timmy smiled big to Bronk, which made his opponent blink over surprised. You're real strong, and I want to face more of what you got.
He drew before he smiled more.
And since this isn't the turn where I activated Dragon Scale Archiving, I can special summon more than one time now. Bronk grunted, gearing himself if Timmy summons one of his signature dragons this turn. Timmy, listen to me. Torai told him, trying to have him listen to what's going on. Bronk is dueling to make you break up with Rio. Stop it, Torai.
Shark spoke to her, which she turned over. Let Bronk express himself in this duel, it'd be better if he gets it out of his system. You don't need to worry, despite what Bronk has now, if Timmy is truly worthy of Rio, he would pull through. He isn't saying he approves it, he is showing faith that Timmy will prevail over this challenge to deal against a love rival. And like he said, Bronk needs to let this out of him now or it will continue eating him up, and something bad will happen in the future. Maybe him being a pawn of the Baryons who will take advantage of his jealousy. She's just trying to explain the situation to him. Reginald, he deserves to know why he was challenged even if it doesn't change anything. Rio frowned towards him. Besides, I have a feeling Timmy's about to do something amazing. Shark does already know that, but not now, otherwise Timmy will cancel the duel and make this more difficult. And I will, no need to worry. Timmy spoke over, not understanding what they're talking about as he didn't catch most of it but heard Rio said he will do something amazing. We will start with a pendulum summon. Come on back, guys. The pendulum portal appeared as a card shot down, which is Astuzel again. Dragon Archiver, Astuzel, attack position. And next up, I activate Forgotten Soul Ritual Dragon's effect in my hand. Timmy shows the Ritual Dragon card he had they haven't him use since Devon Knox. Only they haven't seen how else it can be summoned other than a ritual spell. So now, I can ritual summon this card without the need of a ritual spell. Ritual summon without a spell? Bronk gasped. Janie and Yggdrasil flew up, being sacrificed as Timmy raised an arm. The archives of the dragons focus on studying the determined soul. And now the dragon that sleeps within the salvation is ready to grant peace to its loved ones. Ritual summon. Level 7, Forgotten Soul Ritual Dragon. Forming was Forgotten Soul as it roared loud above Timmy, forming onto the field. Attack position. Forgotten Soul Ritual Dragon. Dark. Level 7. Dragon Effect Ritual. ATK. 2500. Def, 2100. You can ritual summon this card with its own effect. If this card is in your hand, you contribute monsters on your field, or hand whose levels exceed this card's level, then ritual summon this card from your hand. If this card is ritual summoned using only monsters on the field, you can negate the effects of all special summon monsters your opponent controls. You contribute one other monster you control, have the ATK of all level 5 or higher monsters your opponent controls until the end phase. You can only activate each effect of Forgotten Soul Ritual Dragon per turn. Your dragon is still vulnerable to Clockwork Knight, which means my monsters are more powerful. Bronk pointed out. Forgotten Soul Ritual Dragon, ATK, 2500, 500 equals 2000/def, 2100, 500 equals 1600/type, machine. Maybe, but there is something you should know. Bronk blinked as Timmy swiped his arm, smiling over. The effects of your monster are negated as Forgotten Soul is summoned using monsters only on my field. Bronk widened his eyes as Forgotten Soul charged up, wrapping its wings around itself. Forgotten Embrace. Spreading its wings out, a green wave was released from it, enveloping both of Bronk's monsters. Before they can, Bronk grunted, raising an arm. Before its effects are negated, Tin Archduke's ability activates. Tin Archduke, ORU, 2-1. Raising its sword, Tin Archduke pointed it over towards Forgotten Soul, who roared as it was forced to change battle position. Forgotten Soul Ritual Dragon, defense position. Shark closed his eyes and thought. Maybe I should duel Bronk again, he's clearly improved a little. Geargiager Gigant XG, effects negated. Tin Archduke, effects negated. Now I activate the effects of the Dragon Archivers I used. When Janie is used to summon a dragon, I draw a card. Timmy called drawing. And with Yggdrasil used, I can summon a Dragon Archiver that's level 4 or below to either our fields. Taking a card, he places it on. Dragon Archiver Dingernell. Dingernell rose onto the field, grinning over. Attack position. Dragon Archiver Dingernell. Wind. Level 4. Pendulum Scale, 2. Dragon Effect Pendulum. ATK, 1500. Def, 1100. Pendulum Effect, Dragon Archiver monsters on the field cannot be destroyed by battle once per turn. Once per turn, if a Dragon Archiver monster you control is targeted by an opponent's card effect, you can negate the activation. Monster Effect, at the end of the battle phase, if an opponent's monster was destroyed by battle this turn, gain 1000 LP. If this card is used as material or tribute for a summon of a dragon monster, you can inflict 200 damage to your opponent for each card they currently control. You can only activate this effect of Dragon Archiver, Dingernell once per turn. Not good. Bronk frowned. Dragon Archiver, Dingernell. ATK, 1500, 500 equals 1000/def, 1100, 500 equals 600/type, machine. As the effect of a Dragon Archiver activates, I gain 1000 points due to the effect of Drakenscale Archiving. Timmy regenerated some LP thanks to his spell. Timmy, 1800/hand, 1, with that done he then raised an arm. Now I overlay Dingernell and a Stuzel. The two glowed purple flying up towards the overlay network. Dark Rebellion now too? Bronk asked nervously. Not good. He finally dealt some damage. Torai admitted. But he's still at a disadvantage. Now I activate Dark Rebellion's ability. By using 2 overlay units, I can cut Gigantex's attack points in half, and have Dark Rebellion gain that much. Dark Rebellion takes 2 overlay units as its wings split. Treason Discharge. Purple electricity charged blasting over, and binding Gigantex allowing Dark Rebellion to take some of its power. Geargiager Gigantex G, ATK, 3000 divided by 2 is equal to 1500. Dark Rebellion XYZ Dragon, ATK, 2000 plus 1500 equals 3500/ORU, 2-1-0. And I activate Forbidden Archive. Timmy used another spell. Forbidden Archive. Quick play spell card. Target one face-up monster on the field that was special summoned with a Dragon Archiver monster as material. Until the end of this turn, the target gains 600 ATK for each special summon monster your opponent controls. Also, if it destroys an opponent's monster by battle, inflict 1000 damage to your opponent. During your standby phase, you can banish this card from your GY. Both players draw 1 card. For every monster that is special summoned to your field, Dark Rebellion gains 600 attack points. Dark Rebellion was energized from the spell's effect as it roared loud. Dark Rebellion, ATK, 3500 plus 600 by 2, equals 4700. 4700. Bronk cried in disbelief. Battle. Dark Rebellion attack Geargiager Gigant XG. Mauling Mandible Charge. Dark Rebellion roared, charging up ahead towards the large XYZ machine as it prepared itself for the battle ahead. My set card is XYZ Revenge Shuffle. I don't have an XYZ monster in the graveyard to use it. Timmy. Bronk looked away from his set card towards the young man in front of him with a smile. Despite all he managed to do, and shut down Timmy's field several times, he had still pulled around a turnaround and defeated him. Well, at least Bronk can say he tried. You better take good care of Rio. He closed his eyes, gently smiling as Dark Rebellion struck its bladed jaw against Gigant XG, which destroyed it as Bronk yelled out blown back some, and landed on the ground on his back groaning. Timmy, 1800. Hand, 0. Field, Dragon Archiver Roale, Pendulum, Dragon Archiver Renodu, Pendulum, Forgotten Soul Ritual Dragon, Defense Position /ATK, 2000/def, 1600/type, Machine, Dark Rebellion XYZ Dragon, Attack Position /ATK, 4700/def, 1500/type, Machine, Dragon Scale Archiving, Face Up, 2 set cards. Bronk, 0000. Hand, 2. Field, Tin Archduke, Attack Position /ATK, 2700/def, 1700/ORU, 1/effects negated. Clockwork Knight, Face Up, 1 set card. Timmy wins. The victor smiled over towards the big guy as he bowed politely. Thanks for a great duel, Bronk, very much. Maybe we can do this again sometime. Only as a fun match instead of whatever it is you wanted. He chuckled a little from this. Yeah, that sounds great, little pal. Bronk smiled as he got back up. Actually, what exactly is it you wanted? Timmy then asked as Flip and Caswell turned to try sneaking away from Rio. To make us break up. Rio frowned. She is still quite annoyed over the whole thing. I saw him crash his skateboard and he got scraped up, so I offered to help.
Then I don't know the details, but those two. She glared at Flip and Caswell. Took it too far.
The two froze, feeling the glare, and stiffly, slowly, and hesitatingly turned their heads over towards her.
He was jealous. You're with Anna and Rio. Tori explained. What? This whole entire thing was of love rivalry? With widened eyes, Timmy turned towards Bronk. Bronk? I would never bet something like that. Why did you try doing this, instead of just telling me?
You were already with Anna, and I tried thinking of things for Rio and Shark to approve of me so I can at least have a chance. Then Shark told me that I'm not as good as you are, so I have to try with all of the practicing I've been doing.
Timmy frowned over from this.
While he had a fun duel, the circumstances of it would have made him cancel the duel right then, and there had he known that his relationship with Rio was on the line even if nothing would change. But he can understand what Bronk is going through. Before he met Anna, he thought he would never be in a relationship due to his parents wanting him to marry a wealthy girl, and not some commoner or poor person. And he often hears stories of love rivals often getting endings where karma bites them on the ass harshly, and with the duel over, some of those feelings with Bronk are now mostly settled.
Well, Bronk, I'm sorry that you aren't able to be with Rio.
Timmy spoke towards him.
But Rio isn't the only girl for you to see.
There are plenty of fish in the sea, so if you keep looking, sooner or later the girl who's perfect for you will appear.
He then smiled to him. All you have to do is be patient, and don't try to chase after it, it'll be farther away that way.
Easy for you to say, two fell into your lap.
Bronk sighed. I don't exactly say that.
Timmy spoke, not sure if that's really accurate. Probably it is, considering how the three of them met each other. He then turned to Rio after she was done speaking her mind to a really pale Caswell, and Flip before he walked over.
When Rio looked over, Timmy bowed to her.
I'm sorry for putting our relationship on the line like this, Rio.
I didn't know, but that's no excuse.
It's not your fault, Timmy, and I know you care about your friends.
Rio smiled gently, hugging him. Timmy smiled, hugging her back. So, what exactly happens now? Yuma asked, which Kathy and Tori in between him that made them turn to him.
The end of this charade, they both spoke, reaching and pinching a part of his butt together.
Yuma jumped, holding his butt with a yell. Ow! Hey, what was that for?
Both girls giggled over from this while everyone laughed or smiled over from this. That wraps up this part of What If Dragon Deck User in Yu-Gi-Oh!
Zexal. Thanks so much for listening.
As always, new parts drop every 4 days, so be sure to stay tuned. Also check out my Patreon channel for early releases of all the series, where you can find all the series released one day ahead of YouTube. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, share it with your friends, and please consider supporting the original author as well.
See you in the next one.